You don't even need to go through your phone and the app or any of that. Just 97.3 HD2. All you have to do is figure out the most complicated system in the world, which is changing the dial on an HD radio from 1 to 2 to 3, because it's different in every car. Love the radio industry. Love being in this industry. Could we have possibly come up with a more confusing and less uniform way to switch from HD1 to 2 to 3 on every station? But if you can get to 97.3 HD2, if you can finagle that in your car, it really does sound good. It sounds like much, much, much better.
Is it not just a simple push of a button to get to it?
You know, it sometimes is, but it's different in every car. And, like, especially with everybody's got the touch screens now, that just makes everything totally different. There's nothing streamlined anymore, Brady. Everything's harder. One more day of Brady, who's in today. Brady Bones producing. One more day of Charles, who's in today for Lyle again on the board. Hi, Charles.
Hello, Salk.
Good morning, buddy. And, yeah, let's see. Brock's back. Lyle will be back tomorrow. Maura comes back on Friday. And then, well, I would say like Voltron, we're all like back together, except I'm leaving because I'm going to be gone a couple days next week. Not for a while. I know. I'm sorry. I was just gone. But I got I jammed a bunch of vacation stuff here into the summer. So just a couple of days next week, a couple of days in August, and then like I'll be here till September or till like the Seahawks bye week. Okay. Like I'm going to work straight. But I got a little quick trip to Vegas.
Vegas, huh?
Not even with my friends. Quick trip to Vegas with my wife. How about that?
Okay. Just the wife, no kids, no
me and the
friends?
wife. No wife, no friends. But so my buddy, so I'm going to get to the All-Star game here in a moment. I know you guys want to hear about the swing off, right? So we'll get to that in a sec. Have you ever seen it's like I don't know if it's Foster's, but it's some Australian like beer company. And it's these guys, well, it's like a couple, guy and his wife, and they're somewhere on vacation in the pool. And he looks over and he sees his friend, and he's like, Joe, what are you doing here? Oh, my God, as I live and breathe. And then their other friend walks over. It's like, what are you doing? And these guys have all planned this, their couples vacations with their wives at the exact same place without telling their wives. And
so this is exactly what you're doing, huh?
Well, so my best friend, Nate, is going to be in Vegas this weekend with his wife. And I think I have worked it out so that we can overlap like for a night/morning. So I'm thinking we might try it. Heather will know, but his wife probably won't.
Oh, she's in the dark?
I think we could have his wife in the dark. And
Is that okay? Is she going to be cool with that?
I think if it was just brunch on their final day, it would be okay. Like if it was all like the whole weekend, obviously I think that would be a bit much. But brunch on the final day and just being like, Nate Chesson, as I live and breathe. Like, I don't know.
How did you get here, man?
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. We'll see. It's a possibility. I'll check in with him and see if we can make that work. Mike, don't forget to mention how obnoxious you sound on AM radio. It's not your fault, but you do sound way better on 97.3 HD2 or on the Seattle Sports app. Thanks, 509. Appreciate it. Nice way to start the morning. I will also go to the 610 this morning in Pennsylvania, of all places. So you might not have even gotten a chance to see this because it was like 11:30 last night by the time they got to it. Salk, better regular season tiebreaker. The Manfred Runner starting in the 10th or the mini home run derby after the 11th? I'm glad you asked, and what a perfect question to pose today. If you were watching the All-Star game last night, you weren't alone. It seemed like it was kind of creating some buzz. It was a good All-Star game in general. Angie Mentink was exactly right last week when she was talking about how it is the best All-Star game, and it's really not close. And putting the right uniforms on certainly helped make it look better. And, there are a lot of positives. You can talk through some of the negatives, but there were a lot of positives to the baseball All-Star game, and they did a great job last night. There's a ton of exciting talent in this league right now. It was fun to watch it all on display. Both the hitting and the pitching side, both the American League and the National League. It was cool watching with Cecily. She was pretty hooked on it last night. And really, it's funny watching the Derby the night before, and she's been watching throughout the last year or two. But like seeing O'Neal Cruz in the Derby the night before got her excited to see O'Neal Cruz the next day on the field. And same with Junior Caminero and same with Ellie De La Cruz. Like she started to know who they were because she had seen them the night before and seen some of their personality in the Derby. Go figure. Kids like personality. Hello, baseball. Kids like personality.
Was she looking for Cal's brother at all?
That was my other daughter.
Oh,
yeah,
my bad.
different interests at their stages in life. That was my other daughter. Yeah, she was curious if he was making his way to Seattle or not. But it was great. It was a really good All-Star game, and it's fun to see them go back and forth, and then you start realizing, hey, if this thing goes to a tie, we're going to get the first ever swing off, and you start looking at the rules because I didn't even realize that. Heck, I don't even remember. Do they still decide who hosts or who gets home field advantage in the World Series by the All-Star game? They don't, right? They stopped doing that?
I don't believe so. I think that's been done for a little bit.
They should keep that. I always liked that. I thought it was good. And people would complain and be like, oh, that's dumb. Well, the other system, it's not like they gave it to the team with the best record. Before that, they just went back and forth, which was even more random. It was a 50-50 shot based on nothing. At least in this, your team might have in some way contributed to winning home field advantage. Anyway, not the point. So they get to the streaming, or they get to this All-Star game, and or they get to the swing off. And it's a little funky, right? So each of the three players that are chosen ahead of time, or not like right before it starts, are going to get just three swings, which I thought was cool. Put some actual pressure on them. It wasn't like the Derby where you could kind of get into a groove. It wasn't 3 outs. It was 3 swings total, which I don't know. I thought that was a different, it made it different from the night before and like changed the whole way the whole thing. I thought it was great. I really liked it.
It was fantastic. They just keep changing the rules to everything
Which
every
is
single
fine.
year.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. Like that's sort of the nature of the world. Fine. And it's the All-Star game, and that's fine. They had the ABS system. They're doing all these different things with it. I thought it worked. Yes, it would have been better if it had like, Aaron Judge and Cal and Ohtani. But also, some of those guys literally weren't there. Cal was. But some of those guys were literally not there. They had left. They were at the airport. They were done. Like, they left to get on flights to try to have at least a little bit of vacation before having to resume play on Friday. So, yeah, I get it. Some of those guys weren't there. And Aaron Boone, I thought, was kind of right by saying, hey, I didn't want to put guys in who had been taken out of the game in the 4th inning and had gotten cold. That's not fair. And the biggest thing, can you imagine if somebody does that and then gets injured? That's a disaster for everybody, for Major League Baseball. So, yeah, that's why you end up with Aranda in the final at bat of the game, which was a little bit of it ended on kind of a sad note. But whatever. I liked it. I liked it just like everybody else did. It was blast to watch. It was fresh. It was new. It brought something just cool and different to an All-Star game that probably needed a little refreshing like that. Great. Here's the only concern I have. And please don't just hear this. Hear the first part. I loved it. I thought it was fun. I was glued to it. My daughter and I were all in. Thought it was so much fun. The only fear I have is when things like this go well, sports leagues are addicted to more is more. Oh, you liked it? Let me give you more of it.
Oh, they're just going to try to jam-pack way too much stuff into a condensed format.
No, they're going to, my fears, they're going to try to make this like a regular season tiebreaker.
Oh, they're like, instead of extra innings, they're going to do
They've already screwed up extra innings. Baseball has the only good overtime other than hockey in all of sports.
It is the most action-packed, keeps you on the edge of your seat.
It's great. It's awesome. I mean, NBA's fine, whatever. You play 5 more minutes. NHL is superlative, or at least, in the playoffs at least, is perfect. In the regular season, it's good. But baseball was perfect. You just keep playing until someone wins. I loved it, right? It's like it was ideal. You didn't need to change the game at all. Then they change it with the stupid ghost runner on second base, zombie runner. It's dumb. It's ridiculous. I hate it. I've been complaining about it for years, but fine, whatever. I've lost the battle. At least they're still playing baseball.
At least they're still playing baseball, and I got a question for you.
Hold on. Let me finish this up. At least they're playing baseball. Do not be tempted to put this into the regular season. This is not baseball. Fun for the All-Star game. Super fun. I enjoyed it just like everybody else did. Do not be tempted to put this in the regular season, Rob Manfred. I don't know what I get there's this temptation to make changes and just give people something new because there's such a craving for something new. But there's just no need at all to continue to change the format of extra innings. It's already wonderful. And if you do this too often, you lose a lot of what made it special, is that it was not common. Things like this are great when they're uncommon. when they're new, when they're different.
With extra innings, Salk, I found out what's the longest MLB game ever done.
Yeah, it's like 27 innings or something like that.
26 innings.
There you go. And that's fine. Like, I watched plenty of 18-inning games and enjoyed the heck out of them. I think that's great. But last night was cool. It was cool because it was uncommon. It was cool because it was unique. It was cool because we'd never seen it before, and there was a curiosity factor. And if it happens in next year's All-Star game, great. Like, I'm down with that. But whatever you do, leave that out of the regular season.
The clack of the cleats, the sounds of summer drifting off Lake Washington. These sounds of summer are the prelude to the symphony of fall and winter. Football season is coming. Just 7 days until Seahawks training camp begins.
Seattle Sports training camp coverage is presented by The Landing in Renton.
The home of the Seahawks, Seattle Sports.
You're listening to Brock and Salk on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app. This hour is brought to you by Fred Meyer Pharmacy, with a special message for Medicare D and TRICARE Department of Defense plan members. Your neighborhood Fred Meyer Pharmacy is happy to welcome back Express Scripts Medicare D and TRICARE Department of Defense plan members. It's easy to transfer prescriptions at fredmeyer.com/pay or update. See your Fred Meyer Pharmacy for details.
And now, tales of another way. You're packing for a trip. Stuffing clothes in a suitcase works mostly. But such chaos in your carry-on. Then you try packing cubes. Organization? Meet harmony. Sometimes another way is the better way. Like the new SR 509 Expressway, the alternate route that'll help manage congestion on I-5 and other local roads, plus provide better access to the ports. It's open now. Try it free through summer. Learn more at goodtogo509.com.
We meet by accident, fixing every last bit, accurate auto body.
If you've been in an auto accident, you have the right to take your vehicle to any repair facility. Accurate Auto Body has been family owned and operated since 1994, and they work for you, not your insurance company. Your insurance company may not love them, but you will, because
We meet by accident, fixing every last bit, accurate auto body.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Hey, that's the spirit. Right now, we're celebrating free with a free STP oil filter when you buy 5 quarts of oil and free Duralast brake pads when you buy 2 rotors. Like always, free battery testing, charging, and recycling at every store. Celebrate free at AutoZone now through July 28th.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at hims.com/joy, and from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED, but Hims can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
The home of the Mariners.
One hopper snared at short. Not a quick hop by J.P. Crawford. That guy's a magician over there at shortstop.
Seattle Sports.
Download the Seattle Sports app.
It's the World Fighting Championships at Emerald Queen Casino Event Center, Saturday night, October 25th. Experience the thrill and excitement of high-energy mixed martial arts. Tickets at emeraldqueen.com. Don't miss this amazing professional mixed martial arts event, the World Fighting Championships, October 25th at Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest. 21 and older, need gambling help? Call 800-547-6133 or visit emeraldqueen.com.
This is for all you guys on Viagra. ED pills are no longer needed. The brutal side effects like 4-hour headaches, blurred vision, and that flush feeling can all be put behind you with our treatment. Here at West Coast Men's Health, we have a better approach to ED. Acoustic wave therapy creates blood flow circulation by safely removing the plaque in your arteries and restoring function naturally. Guys, let me be clear. Pills will never fix your problem. Our equipment is the latest technology, and our medical staff is the best in the industry. So give West Coast Men's Health a call today. Speak with our clinic manager. Ask him any question you like, how it works, the science behind it, and even the cost. If you suffer from ED or Peyronie's disease, give West Coast Men's Health a call today. It's not just about better health, it's about a better life.
With clinics in Redmond and Tacoma, call 206-519-6541. That's 206-519-6541. Online at westcoastmenshealth.com.
You've heard the saying, you never get a second chance to make a first impression. Since 1926, my family's been helping local businesses make great first, second, and long-term impressions. We know how to make your company look good with quality uniforms, logoed apparel, floor mats, linens, and more. If you're paying for linen service or doing it yourself, let's have the conversation. The information and quote are free, but the savings and service can really add up. Visit suplinen.com. Superior Linen Service. It's what we do.
Need to know.
15 minutes past every hour with Brock and Salk.
Here's what you need to know. Up first.
Man, what a strange, cool night of baseball. National League wins the All-Star game in the first ever swing-off. They got up 6-0 on home runs from Pete Alonso and Corbin Carroll, the local guy, but unfortunately they gave it all back. Brent Rooker with a 3-run shot, and the American League took advantage in the 9th to tie it all up. That got us to the first ever swing-off in which Kyle Schwarber was the story.
Has rallied in the swing-off. With the hat trick! Look out, Chop House! National League takes the lead 4-3. Unbelievable.
Yeah, that's 3 home runs on 3 swings in the swing-off. Perfect from Kyle Schwarber. The last one, he nearly went down on one knee and still drove it out of the park. Pretty cool. That was enough to win it for the National League and earned him the MVP award. As for Mariners, they're pretty well represented. Cal, 1 for 2, hammered a single the other way. Randy Arozarena did go 0 for 3, but he pummeled a pitch from Jacob Mizorowski, the young phenom, to the track. Probably would have been out, I think they said, in 5 different ballparks. And then he was one of the 3 swing-off participants, and he went 1 for 3, which was perfectly respectable.
There's a drive off of the bat of Arozarena. How far does this one go? Plenty deep and gone for the 3rd home run for the AL.
Yeah, how about that? That was cool. Brian Wu pitched perfect innings, struck out 1, and then Andres Munoz, I wouldn't say struggled, but he didn't look his best. Command wasn't quite there as he gave up a walk, but he got Ellie De La Cruz to pop up, got Kyle Stowers to strike out on a challenge, which was cool, and that was it. So nice job by all the Mariners who were there. By the way, it does turn out America loves Cal. Ratings up 5% for the Home Run Derby, peaking at over 6 million people.
Here's the second thing you need to know.
We'll talk more about this once Brock is in, but now that we're past the draft, now that the All-Star game is in the past, GMs around the league can truly focus on the biggest day in the baseball calendar, the trade deadline, 2 weeks from tomorrow, 15 days before the baseball trade deadline. All trades must be complete before then, and as you know, deadlines spur action, so this is the time for teams to get going. First base, third base, right field, reliever, very obvious needs for these Mariners. But it was interesting yesterday talking to Shannon Dreyer and Jason Churchill, and both of them still, like John Morosi did a month ago, pointing to the starting rotation as something that could very well be upgraded. This one's going to be hard for me, and I'm not saying they're wrong. I don't disagree with them. Obviously, it's not been perfect. It's just really hard for me to imagine the Mariners giving much up in order to get something in that category, given the way the team has been built, given what they have, coming back next year and in the mind. Like, I'm not saying you couldn't use somebody down the stretch, Zach Gallen or someone like that, but they better be a significant upgrade over what you got. I just would be very hesitant to give too much up. By the way, Gino Suarez remains a target. Did not love seeing him get hit by a pitch last night. I guess he was okay. He made a stellar play in the field afterwards.
Here's the third thing you need to know.
All right, NBA League meetings in Vegas this week. The news on the expansion is, I think, mostly positive. Not entirely so, but some people are freaking out there. Adam Silver saying the league will do in-depth analysis. Here he is.
Expansion was discussed both at a committee level and at the board, and ultimately the league office was tasked by our board with doing an in-depth analysis of all the issues around expansion, both economic and non-economic. Of course, the non-economic issues include dilution of talent, how it could potentially affect competition around the league if we were to expand, how you would stock those teams, all those related issues, the economic issues, as I've talked about before. They're as we knew would be the case in these discussions, among the board, they're very complex because in how you would potentially value the opportunity has a lot to do with your projections on the future growth of the league.
Yeah, I mean, it basically sounds like, and Bill Simmons has been talking about this, Knicks owner James Dolan is very much against it, doesn't want to mess with the successful economics of a league right now, and he's made some convincing arguments to some of his peers. But I don't quite understand the people freaking out today and saying Adam Silver is just talking. Like, what else is he supposed to do? There's a process to this. We always heard that they would work on this once they got the TV deal done. They did. They had a league meeting yesterday. He said that they're now going to come up with the actual study on it that they weren't working on until they got the league meetings done. And from everything you hear in the background, this thing is pretty well wired for Seattle and Vegas to get teams. So, look, I'm not telling you it's a done deal, but some of the people freaking out, I worry that it's just emotion, and I understand that. It's been 17 years since the Sonics were here. I'm not mad at anybody for freaking out, but this feels like a lot of the same stuff I heard as they were getting Climate Pledge Arena done. It's like, well, yeah, they got it done. Like, there's a process. It takes time. It isn't perfect. But ultimately, I think this is actually a pretty good step along the way. That is everything you need to know. 1:15 every hour here on the Brock and Salk Show. I'll talk more about that with Brock. He usually has some pretty good insight into these things once he's in at 7 o'clock. All right. We're going to talk to Jeff Passan today at 8:30, excuse me. So a day late on Passan. He's sleeping late, I believe, on the East Coast, because he didn't get a lot of sleep. I think the suit he was wearing during the All-Star or during the Home Run Derby was glowing from his closet, and so it was making it hard for him to sleep at night. So I don't know. Maybe he was able to take some Xanax or something. But Jeff Passan joins us at 8:30. If you missed it yesterday, an interview very close to my heart. Jim Abbott, who is the subject of a new E60 documentary called Southpaw. Unbelievable story, unbelievable guest, and incredibly personal to me. I'll let you give a chance to hear it next. It's Brock and Salk, Seattle Sports on 710 and seattlesports.com.
He called it 20 years ago.
I'm the home run derby champ.
And as he always does, the Big Dumper delivered.
The Big Dumper is your home run derby champion.
Congratulations, Cal Raleigh.
I just can't believe it long. It's unbelievable.
We can't wait for the second half of the season of Cal on Seattle Sports on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
What'd you say? I'm the man. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Hey, it's Mike Salk here, and summertime, obviously these next couple days are going to be very hot. This is about as big a heat wave as you're going to get, and so it might be really warm in your house right now. If it is, and like warmer than it should be, it might be because you don't have enough insulation, right, in your crawl space, in your attic most specifically. And if that's a problem, well, you got to get Crawl Pros to come out and take a look. They'll do a full corner-to-corner inspection. And if that's what they find is a problem, you're actually in luck, because utility companies have special incentives to help with the cost right now, especially Puget Sound Energy. If you're a customer and your home was built before 1990, you could qualify to receive a rebate on up to 95% of the cost to properly insulate your crawl space and attic. Yeah, 95%. So don't wait. Call Crawl Pros. Figure out what's going on behind that crawl space or attic for free. If you're worried about water damage, mold, insulation, critters, issues, anything else related to your crawl space or attic, call Crawl Pros or visit crawlpros.com.
Hey, it's Matt, your leaf filter trusted pro. Gutters are an often neglected part of the home. They're also one of the most important. Clogged, overflowing gutters can cause serious problems like foundation damage or basement flooding, which can cost thousands of dollars to fix. Let's face it, cleaning gutters yourself is not only a hassle, it can be dangerous. But when you get Leaf Filter, you'll never have to worry about cleaning clogged gutters again. Get started today by visiting leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free inspection. If you decide to move forward, we'll professionally clean, realign, and seal your gutters before installing our patented stainless steel micro mesh system. Leaf Filter keeps out everything but the water. And it's backed by a lifetime transferable no clogs warranty. So you're protected for good. We're in your neighborhood and ready to help. Visit Leaf Filter today for a free inspection and estimate, and you could save up to 30%. Visit leaffilter.com/deal. That's leaffilter.com/deal.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could it be lower testosterone?
Lower T.
Happens to most guys after 40. I was in the same boat until I started using Nugenix Total T2.
Total T2, the new one I've seen on TV.
Yep, it's the next generation testosterone booster for both free and total testosterone. It's packed with even more man-boosting power, sending nitric oxide levels skyrocketing in just 3 hours.
It actually works?
I feel like I'm in my 20s again. I've got more energy, better results in the gym, and things are even better in the bedroom. Send them a text and get a complimentary bottle.
Text now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T2, the #1 testosterone brand at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, absolutely free. Text CASH to 231231. CASH to 231231. CASH to 231231.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
G. Scott here to talk about Sunbucks, a SNAP program that provides free, healthy food when school is out. If you could use the help, simply fill out the form online to determine eligibility for $120 of free food per child. If families had cards last year, they have been replenished. If families need new cards, they can call the Sunbucks call center. This message is presented by Safeway, where customers can use SNAP to save on produce and shop online. Visit hungerfreewa.org/summer EBT.
Heading outdoors or on the water this weekend? Check in with Joey and Nelly on the Outdoor Line from 6 to 8 a.m. every Saturday on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
Sometimes even heroes need rescuing.
I'm a retired firefighter, 27 years.
Kurt had severe pain in his knees and his shoulder, which was keeping him from enjoying his well-deserved retirement.
Loved to ski, loved to fish, and couldn't even walk 18 holes.
That's why Kurt decided to see Dr. Mark Wagner, MD at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine for stem cell therapy.
He was just awesome. He goes, yeah, give me a shot. And he took care of me. He stemmed my knee and my shoulder.
And how are you feeling now?
I was pain-free in 12 weeks. I play golf now pain-free, and it's awesome.
So you'd recommend this treatment to others in your situation?
Absolutely. Yeah, Dr. Wagner's, he's had a couple people call me, and I recommended that they do it.
Before you choose surgery, consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Mark Wagner, MD at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine. Schedule your consultation at drmarkwagnermd.com.
Crank up the hits and bring on the boom. It's 80s fireworks night at T-Mobile Park. Get ready for a totally tubular show this Friday, presented by T-Mobile. The Mariners face off against the division rival Astros at 7:10. And after the game, the sky will light up to the sound of your favorite 80s jams. Big hits on the field and more big hits after dark.
Grand slam! Julio takes it deep and clears them off.
Mariners baseball, fireworks, and hair metal? Sounds like a rad night. Lock in your seats now at Mariners.com and check out what else is on deck at the ballpark this summer, including 3 straight value games against the Brewers, July 21st through 23rd, and the next Mariners fireworks show on August 1st.
Goodbye, baseball. He does it again. Home runs in 3 consecutive games. Cal Raleigh, the big dumper.
Mariners baseball. Tridents up.
Brock and Salk's Rewind is presented by Toyota of Kirkland and Toyota of Renton.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Brock and Salk.
Weekdays 6 to 10.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
It was an incredible thing to get to watch the Jim Abbott E60 documentary Southpaw. It aired on Sunday night. I DVR'd it, watched it last night, and was completely blown away. Very moving, really well done, and just an incredible story. And Jim Abbott, the star of this documentary, kind enough to take some time with us right now. Jim, good morning. Thanks for coming back on the show. We really appreciate it.
Oh, you kidding? I'm glad to be here. Thanks for having me again.
Well, it was awesome just getting to watch this and see your story. Some of it I knew, most of it I honestly did not. And I know you've said some of this before, but how did this get done? Who approached you? What led to an E60 documentary?
Well, to be honest, I've been retired for a while, and I was kind of living a quieter life. I was doing a little bit of speaking and some different things, but I've always been a huge fan of the ESPN documentary studios, whether it's 30 for 30 or E60. And they called me, Mike Farrell, the producer and director, and Jeremy Schaap, who I knew his dad and knew him, so I'm a big fan. And they thought that they could bring a different perspective to it, and they thought there was an audience and a generation that might be captured by this story. So being such a fan, I just went along with it. And I got to tell you, it's been a great ride. I've enjoyed it. Some parts of it are hard. You revisit some parts of your career that aren't always your favorite things to talk about. But at the end, it was an incredibly rewarding experience.
Yeah, a few things struck me. First of all, I'm glad I get to talk to you after seeing it. I know you did a lot of press kind of leading up to it. I'm really glad I got to see it because there are questions and things I wanted to react to and things that kind of struck me. The first thing is I don't think I've ever seen the pitching rubber out of the dirt. I had no idea what that was when you pulled it out. I didn't know it was so big.
I don't think I didn't really have a huge appreciation for it until. And it's one of the great mementos of my career. I got to the ballpark the next day after the no-hitter, and the grounds crew for the Yankees. And some people, you wouldn't know, but the head groundskeeper for the Yankees, a guy named Frankie, he was missing part of his hand too. So we had always kind of shared a bond and talked a little bit here and there. And when I got to the ballpark the next day, they had dug that, like you said, this big hulking piece of rubber and metal out of the mound, which is no small feat. I mean, this thing is huge. And they pulled it out of that mound, which meant a lot of work. They had all the guys on the team sign it. And, it still sits in my office as probably my proudest memento from my career.
Well, as it should be. I had no idea they looked like that. I didn't know that you would look exactly the same as a baby as you do as an adult. That was cool, seeing some of the baby pictures of you. You're like, wow, that's definitely Jim Abbott, even though he's only a few months old. And then really struck by your dad saying that he wanted you to feel normal. And, seeing the video of you and trying to wear the prosthesis when you were younger, I'm struck by that. Like, it's harder to feel normal while you're wearing that. Was that part of why you opted not to?
I think so. There were a few hesitations. When you do something like this, you bring a lot of people into the fold, right? And I had done that for a long time. I wrote a book and so these aren't singular journeys. And I was very much aware of the influences in my life and the people who meant a lot to me and their desire to kind of, may or may not be wanting to get involved in something like this. So those are all part of the considerations. But, like I said, Mike and Jeremy, all the people at E60 approached it very thoughtfully. And, it turned out to be something that opened my eyes to aspects of my career that I didn't even really realize were going on.
So I think I mentioned this to you the last time you were on, and watching you when I was 12 years old, I guess 13 years old, after I had hurt myself when I was 12, was helpful to me. And then I had coaches who worked with me to try to figure out how to catch and throw with my right hand. And it was, I had a lot of help with that along the way. You didn't. You kind of seemed like you just went out and said, I'm going to figure this out myself. Do you think that's a part of why you end up mastering it, kind of the almost the grit and resilience, and the Flint, Michigan part of it kind of enters in there as well, or some of the teasing from other kids? Does that help you end up reaching where you ended up reaching?
Mike, I read your article, and what an amazing story you have in and of yourself. And I always thought that was the more difficult journey, to be honest, was learning to do things all over again, especially at how young you were, to go through something that traumatic and then to bounce back. But you would know, having done that, you have to sort of find your own way. And there aren't, the information wasn't out there like it is now. There was no YouTube video to say, hey, how do I hold a bat with one hand, or how do I, tie my shoes? And so, yeah, I do think that trial and error, and I was surrounded by great coaches and teammates and mentors. I was like you in that way, people who refused to give up. And at the end of the day, people who believe that you can do things differently and still do them just as well. I don't tie my shoes like anybody else, but they end up tied like everybody else. And so, I do think, we think of resilience and perseverance as a oftentimes a physical manifestation. And a lot of times, as you know, it's just sticking to it creatively and believing that there's an answer.
You can tie your shoes. I can tie my shoes. I hate to do it. Are you like me? Do you buy as many slip-ons and try to see if you can sneak into your shoes every day without actually having to tie them?
Yes, only because I'm getting old enough to where it hurts to bend down. That's why I don't mind the tying part of it. It's the bending down that's the problem.
I wonder if you're like me in this way, and I noticed it, and maybe I'm wrong, but noticed it a little bit watching the documentary. I know that I often keep my hands in my pockets. I will often, and unconsciously, I don't think about it. If that's not easy, if I'm sitting at a desk or something, I often realize and look down and notice that my right hand is covering my left. I don't know whether it's sort of a safety mechanism somewhere deep in the back of my brain, or whether there's some embarrassment that I don't think about but is there. Do you find yourself holding your right hand in your left, or anything along those lines?
I do. I think that those are ingrained in us, from childhood. I fought the temptation. I don't even know that I fought it, to be honest. I was often tempted to hide my hand in my pocket, or in different ways, in different situations. And, as you get older, I'm not sure how your experience has exactly gone. And that's the thing, that's the thing about this documentary is I met so many kids along the way who had an injury, or maybe were born like me, or maybe different. Everybody's story is different. Just because we're missing a hand doesn't mean that we're going to be best friends or that they may, like the way I go about things, or, I think we all want to move past the label. Everyone's journey is a little bit different, but I have experienced the temptation to put others at ease, and that seems to be a common denominator of the kids that I've met. And sometimes that does mean, hiding, or, maybe trying to seem more similar than you really are. And I'm not a psychologist. I can't put myself in those shoes, but I know what the experience is, and there does seem to be some commonality to it.
Talking to Jim Abbott here. So it's funny, as I was sort of thinking about the interview before I had watched the documentary, one of the questions I wanted to ask you about was whether you wanted to be an inspiration or whether you wanted to just be known as a baseball player. And, well, the documentary answers that very well, and that's such a big part of what the E60 story is. But I was struck by, your reaction as you were playing to some of the framing of your success. How did that evolve for you over the years?
You're right. I didn't set out to inspire anybody or motivate anybody. I loved baseball. I love sports. I grew up in Flint, Michigan. Football was the thing in winter, basketball, summer, and baseball. And it was a tough town. You had to fight your way. There was no quarter given. And so I went out on a very ambitious, selfish journey. I was trying to be the best baseball player I could be. And then lo and behold, I started doing okay, and the attention started to come, kids and media and families and in ways that, I never knew was possible. And I'm not going to, I never really stopped prioritizing baseball. I didn't go to the ballpark to try and, hey, I'm going to inspire 10 families today. I was trying to get to the 7th, 8th inning and put a quality start in and be a success in the big leagues and, support my family and make the most of what was given to me. That was the responsibility. More was given to me than was ever taken away. And so, but this documentary illuminated in ways that, I'll be honest with you, Mike, I didn't always know what was going on, the way people look to you. And I think that's one of the wonderful messages of the film. It's like the impact you can make without really even consciously try, just going about your day, doing the things you love. There's always somebody, a family member, somebody who's watching and can gain something from it. And it just turns out that, playing in the major leagues, there's a lot of eyes on you and more people were watching than I knew.
Well, I love the way you frame that. I'm pretty lucky. Yesterday, I got to talk to Johnny Bench, which was a huge thrill. Hall of Famer, greatest catcher of all time, and star of the baseball bunch, which was a big part of my youth, watching that every Saturday morning, and part of the reason I love baseball. And I asked him, we were talking about Cal Raleigh, who's just been, obviously a great story here in Seattle, and asking him about leadership in the clubhouse, and his answer, I'll play a little of it for you, kind of mimics exactly what you just said.
You show up on time, you take charge, you show up on the field, you don't ask any special favors, you just guide. You're up there. Here's Cal standing at the cage, here's Cal dressed, he's ready to go, here's Cal on time. You don't have to be the earliest guy in the place. You got to be dedicated to what you do. You got to be the guy that walks out there to the pitcher and understands, develops a rapport with every pitcher.
He goes on from there, but just the very basics of just show up and do your job. And for him as a superstar, as a MVP, it's one thing, but for you, I'm sure that's all you really wanted to do.
Wow, those are amazing words. And can you imagine, Johnny Bench, he's not talking about doing that in a high school locker. He's talking about doing that with the big red machine. Right. Imagine the personalities in that room and trying to be a leader. But, Cal Raleigh and I don't, leadership, my favorite leader that I ever played with, and I played with a few, but Donnie Mattingly was our captain for the Yankees. And he didn't try to be a leader. He just was a leader by embodying all those things that Johnny Bench talked about. He generated respect, and I think those people who try to be leaders, it's pretty obvious. You've got to be genuine. You've got to be authentic. If you want to move people in a direction you'd like them to be moved, there has to be an authenticity to who you are and the way you go about your day.
So the story that I did not know, and it's just an amazing story, I thought, was the back and forth with Jack Curry, who wrote that you were an underachiever and you weren't having a great year in New York, and you confront him, and his response to say, hey, you say you want to be treated like everyone else. I'm trying to treat you like everyone else. How well did you remember that? Was that actually a big moment in your life, or is that sort of kind of fit nicely with the narrative of the no-hitter coming a few weeks later? Was that a big thing for you at the time?
It was a very big thing for me. It hit me hard that I did that, and I regretted it. And I don't know how. I know Jack remembered it, but I don't know that he remembered it in the depth that I did. Because I liked him, and I like him. I've been texting him all week. I think we've remained friends all these years. I'm a big fan. But for me, it was a seminal moment. I had always asked to be treated like every other pitcher. I didn't want the label. I didn't want the excuse. Judged on merit. And in that moment, he wrote in the New York Times that myself and another pitcher on the team were underachievers. Not even saying underachieving, but underachievers. And I took it way too personally. I went to him. I was mad. I said, how can you say that? And I defied everything that I had been saying for all these years. I didn't want the excuse. I didn't want to be judged or forgiven for having one hand. I wanted to be someone looked to for results. And so there's other examples of that in my life. There's a few things that I did as a child, and I'm amazed how indelibly they have remained with me, and how much I deeply regret them. I wish I only wanted to be judged for who I am. I think that's all we want. We don't want labels, and we don't want to be judged for our outside appearance.
Well, I think that's great. And look, Jack, it feels almost like that story stands for, as you said, some other moments in your life. But he almost comes off as a hero a bit in the story for first of all, I love that you came to him. Most athletes don't do that, certainly not anymore. Come to the person they're upset with and have a conversation about it. So I love that you did it, and the way that it works out, he holds his ground, and in some ways, heroes may be a bit too far. That's not fair, but he plays a really important role, and I don't know. I love that. I love seeing your reaction to understanding how important you were to these kids, and maybe more importantly to the parents, which I now feel like I can relate to a lot more. Were there parents that you met over the years that sort of jumped out to you as part of your journey?
Oh, man, I think it was the parents as much as anything that I understood, was going to be formative. My parents were my heroes. They didn't have any books, or I don't think they ever studied anything. They were groping in the dark for answers. They were very young. They gave up a lot for me and my brother. And, they tried some different things. I wore a prosthesis as a kid, and they did some different, but it was basically trial and error. But they didn't, the greatest gift my parents gave me is they didn't shelter me from failure or from hurt. They encouraged me to get out there on the playground. They encouraged me to play sports if my grades were good enough. And they knew with that would come some growing pains. And the only time I ever worry, Mike, when I meet a parent, when I meet kids and families, is if they make too big a deal about it. Mm-hmm. If they let it become the defining characteristic in their relationship with their child, or with what they think their child's relationship with the world will be, that it's strictly based on, their physical appearance. And I've seen that work out in very good ways and also kind of tough ways. And so, hey, I'm no parental psychologist. I don't know, but I just know, meeting so many families, the anecdotes that I could share. The only time is if we overreact, if we make too big a deal of it,
I know exactly what you mean, and it's funny, it's not something I think about in my life very often until the Jim Abbott documentary comes on. I'm like, well, all right, this is something that I can relate to, and it sort of brings up things that I don't think about every day, and I'm sure the same is for you. You probably don't think about this all the time, but then the documentary, and they approach you, and now everyone wants to interview and talk to you specifically about it. God, I think I want to have you on one day and talk about none of this and just talk baseball with you. Forget anything about your inspirational element. Let's just have you on and talk baseball and talk about. Do you still follow the game and kind of watch the game today?
I do, not as closely as I once did, obviously. And I get as frustrated with MLB's TV packages as anybody else. I never know what I can get and what I can't get. And honestly, I don't mind if they hear that. It drives me crazy. I try to tune into a game and it's blacked out or it's this or that. And I just wish they'd figure that out. But I do watch the game. I'm a fan of the game. It's changed. The athletes who are playing it are extraordinary. I miss starting pitchers go a little bit deeper into the games. I loved watching a Mike Maddox or a Mike Mussina, carve their way through a third time through the order and more. But it's hard not to marvel, And I was in Yankee Stadium last week and just I didn't meet him, but I walked by Aaron Judge and I just couldn't believe that a human being that big is that talented at the game, and just seems, it's a marvel to watch today's players.
Yeah, it's funny. I knew you. This jumped out to me too as I was watching it. I knew you had thrown the no-hitter. I didn't realize it had come against that Cleveland lineup until I was watching. Like, oh my gosh, this is one of the best lineups of all time. I remember them a few years later and seeing how small Manny Ramirez looked as a rookie in his first month in the league or whatever, compared to the guy that I covered in Boston a few years later. Pretty remarkable to just see how big the guys are now and what we're watching in the sport. I'll let you go. I know you got other stuff to do, and I just really appreciate it. Last thing from me, and I'm sure you've been asked this before, probably many, many times, but, as I watch the documentary, it just really jumps out. Do you think you would have reached the big leagues? Do you think you would have had the determination to get there if it weren't for some of the challenges that you had along the way?
No, I don't. My right hand, I didn't always like it. It didn't make for the easiest childhood, but it's who I am. And it gave me a drive and ambition that I know I wouldn't have had without it. And I wouldn't have gone to the places that I was so fortunate to have gone to had I been born, in a normal, quote unquote way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I often say there's nothing you could do to make me go through the pain and the awful situation again. It was horrendous and it hurt. I mean, it was physical pain, but I wouldn't trade it. There's nothing I would do. If you said, hey, you could go back and have it never have happened, I don't think my life would be as good as it is. I think I would keep everything exactly the same, and I'm going to guess you feel the same way.
Well, Mike, you can hear it in your voice, the strength that you show to overcome that. And, we all have our different journeys. We all have our different, look at these kids that they've grown up. They came to Yankee Stadium. They came to Texas. They came to Oakland, and now they're MMA fighters and basketball players and motocross riders and cross country. They do everything. And there's a certain pride in that. There's a certain pride in carving your own way.
Jim, thank you so much. This was incredible. Thank you for doing this again. The documentary is called Southpaw. You can get it at ESPN Plus if you're a subscriber. I'm sure it'll be on ESPN again as well. It is incredibly well done, and getting a chance to see some of the people over the years that you meant a lot to. Just know that I'm one of them, and I really appreciate it. Thanks so much for spending the time.
My pleasure. Always a pleasure. Thank you. Good to talk to you.
All right, there you go. The great Jim Abbott, and the documentary is awesome. If you have a chance to find that on ESPN Plus, it really was great. And thank you for being there for something meaningful for me. It was great to talk to Jim Abbott yesterday. It was great to talk to Johnny Bench earlier this week. And now, trumping all of that, the great Brock Heward joins the show next.
MLB Network insider John Morosi every week with Wyman and Bob.
Can they do enough at the trade deadline?
They don't have to necessarily be in first place by the end of July, but you need to show the front office that this team is worth adding to. But they need to show you more from guys who are not named Cal Raleigh. I'd be paying very close attention. Emerson, Young, Celestin to see who potentially could be the one that they move.
See the full conversation on the Seattle Sports YouTube page.
Are you still using allergy pills and sprays to treat your allergy attacks? I'm Dr. Ryan Stern with the Stern Sinus Center. Nasal congestion, sneezing, runny nose, snoring, facial pain are just a few of the sinus symptoms we can help you out with. From allergy workups and treatments to modern nasal breathing procedures to advanced outpatient balloon sinuplasty, we can diagnose and treat your problems. Let us help you get relief easily, quickly, and permanently. Find us in Federal Way or Auburn or at sternsinus.com. That's sternsinus.com.
At 65 years old, Brian has a rather demanding hobby.
My biggest passion is snow skiing, and I ski between 70 and 80 days per year. And I ski instruct at a private resort in Montana.
Needless to say, that can be a bit tough on the joints.
When this knee started to bother me, I thought I'm doomed.
That's when Brian decided to see Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine for stem cell therapy.
If I did yard work or skied a few days in a row, I was fighting swelling and pain and no sleep and all sorts of problems, and that has absolutely gone away.
So are you back on the slopes?
I mean, I had a 14-day stretch with clients where I skied every day and I had no problem. It was fine. It was just like, I felt like new.
So I'm guessing you would recommend this to others.
Oh, I already have. I've told everyone that'll listen.
Whether it's a shoulder, hip, or knee, before you choose surgery, consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine. Schedule your consultation at drmarkwagnermd.com.
It's really, truly a miracle.
Walking away from an interaction with a customer that says, I can't believe how easy this was. I can't thank you enough for helping me.
Our strategy with pricing is not to be the highest price and not to be the lowest price, but to be a really good price and to provide a really good experience to the customer.
Yeah, I have a ton of really memorable customers. Afterwards, to thank us, he sent us this beautiful basket of like candies and fruits and stuff. It was just really sweet. It felt like we were truly helping.
Receiving a handwritten letter that's personalized to a salesperson or a service advisor or a technician expressing gratitude, and then taking that home and sharing that with your family and hanging that on your refrigerator, that's the difference.
You hear it from one person, and then another, and another. You come to realize it's not a script, it's a belief. The LJ Way is the Lee Johnson Auto family.
Upgrade your heat pump or air conditioner right now and save up to 25% during Home Comfort Alliance warehouse clearance sale. All remaining 2024 heat pumps and air conditioners are now up to 25% off. Visit homecomfortalliance.com today.
Jaden Schwartz for Techline Roofing. Summer is the perfect time for a new roof. Take advantage of our easy financing, summer specials, and the best warranty in the business. Have a great summer. See you next hockey season. Trust Techline.
We just want to have enough money for retirement.
And travel to visit our grandchildren.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we start by getting to know each other, so I can learn about your family, lifestyle, goals, and needs, allowing us to tailor your portfolio.
What about commission-based products?
We don't sell those. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in your best interest.
So how do your management fees work?
We have a simple management fee based on the value of your portfolio, so we do better when you do better.
We appreciate that kind of transparency.
We also check in with you regularly to keep you up to date on the markets and your portfolio.
What other services do you offer?
As a client, you have access to resources on investing, financial planning, estate planning, Social Security, Medicare, and more.
Wow, it sounds like Fisher Investments has everything we need.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Adam Schefter here for Vivid Seats, your ultimate destination for all your sports and concert needs this summer. With a game-changing rewards program and an unbeatable selection of tickets, they make it easy for every fan to watch their favorite teams and players in action. Catch every home run and thrilling comeback in person from your favorite seat. Plus, every ticket is backed by a 100% buyer guarantee, giving you peace of mind with every purchase. Visit VividSeats.com or download the app today. Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
The countdown is on.
Just 7 days until Seahawks training camp.
On the home of the Seahawks, Seattle Sports. 710 KIRO AM Seattle and KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma.
Give me a freaking auto!
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Brock and Salk on Seattle Sports.
Brock Ewert is my hero.
Jay Buhner just punched me in the kidney.
We're going to accuse you of manager.
Doesn't really work that way, Sherm. This is a show that has my name on it.
It kind of does, though.
Now here are your hosts, Brock Ewert and Mike Salk.
Hello! Well, thank you. Appreciate the kind words on the Jim Abbott interview. Really, he's just a good interview. I mean, he's got a great story. He's a great guest, and happy to be a conduit and for him to tell that because he was great and super meaningful for me. Good morning, Brock. How are you?
Good morning, Michael. Is your radio tank full after Johnny Bench and the Baseball Bunch and Jim Abbott?
Dude, Johnny Bench sang the theme to the Baseball Bunch. How about that?
He did. No, he did not.
Unprovoked.
Brady, you need to find that for me, please. We need to play that at some point
today
for me.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you,
He
Brady.
sang the
Appreciate
theme.
that.
He told me that he's still in touch with the San Diego Chicken. Yeah, it was.
And he's what, 76?
76, 77, something like that.
And he didn't sound all that much different.
Dude, he sounded great.
Yes, he did. Oh, that's good for
Brock.
Johnny.
I didn't even ask him a question to start the interview. I just said, hi, and we're welcoming Johnny Bench. Hey, Mike, how are you? Let me tell you about Cal Raleigh. I was like, okay, great. Like, I just sit back for the next half hour and let you just do your thing.
Kind of feels like that's what the country's doing, is it not?
Just watching Cal Raleigh?
Yeah, I mean, as far as like a Q rating of the last 2-3 days,
sheesh.
Has there been anybody in the sport of baseball that has impacted and affected his? I hate to say Q rating because that doesn't even sound right with Cal Raleigh.
Right.
You'd say Q rating to Cal Raleigh, and he'd be like, "What?"
Because he's so busy trying to like tamp all that down.
Yeah,
right.
like, what the heck is a Q rating? I
Right.
don't even know what are you talking about, right? I don't. Do you think Cal Raleigh knows what a Q rating is? 0.0 chance.
He might.
No,
He
0.0 chance. Brady, do you know what a Q rating is? Charles in the house. Do you know what a Q rating is?
I do not.
Yeah, Charles.
I'm just trying to look it up here.
Yeah. Well, you don't need to look it up. A Q rating is essentially how much people know about you, how well known you are. And, I thought Cal did a heck of a job by not even trying to, of making him, and that's what makes Cal special, right? The authenticity, all of it. He wasn't the only one, though.
We were up in the boonies, and it was beautiful, man. Absolutely, just tremendous time with so many great people. Up at a lodge in Bristol Bay, Alaska, in Kulik Lodge, just a phenomenal deal. And obviously, like, you're in the middle of absolutely nowhere. Great Wi-Fi, so we were able to stream, and everybody wanted to see it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Everyone's like, well, you got to put the Home Run Derby on. I mean, we got to watch Cal Raleigh, right? I mean, you could just feel this kind of growing. You know what's beautiful about it, too? It's what I told these folks. I said, it's kind of like radio when you kind of create content, and the best content, Salk, and we know this is what? Organic.
Mm-hmm.
Right? When we don't just try to do something, when it just organically kind of comes about. Lyle's rants, boy howdy, Mike Zanino. Yeah, I mean, those things were not like premeditated and planned.
Right.
And it feels that way with Cal, that it's just organically over these years just kind of grown, kind of rooted, and now it is just blooming. And honestly, there cannot be, and maybe it's myopic, and maybe it's my Seattle, but there just can't be a player in baseball whose presence has grown in the game more than Cal Raleigh in the first half, and certainly over the last 4 or 5
Well, there's
years.
no doubt about that. I mean, eventually he'll even be intriguing to parts of the country. Who knows? No, you're right. I mean, Cal's been he was the thing throughout the All-Star game, and throughout the All-Star weekend, and that was cool. I mean, like, he just shines in it. I saw him on the red carpet, and they were asking about his suit, and he's like, I don't know, I got a stylist, and they told me what to do. Like, and he's not full of it. That's just kind of being real, being who he is. But it's also not over the top. And one of the things I said yesterday, and I think you would agree with this watching the Derby, Cal's humility and aw shucks personality is obviously very real, very genuine. What I love about it is that it doesn't contrast in a negative way with the guys on the other side who were exactly the opposite. Like, I was watching with Cecily. She was enamored with Ellie De La Cruz and O'Neal Cruz and Tatis and especially Junior Caminero, and playing with the flair that they had.
Yeah.
She wasn't like, there wasn't any of like, oh no, I want my athlete to be like Cal, not like these guys. It was, hey, these things are both really cool. And by the end of this weekend, I mean, after watching the Derby and then the All-Star game, Cecily's like, well, she wants to know more about O'Neal Cruz. She wants to know more about those guys, and was rooting for them over the course of a few days. So kudos to baseball. They got so much of that right over the weekend. I did feel, and Cal's a huge part of it, as if this was a, pardon the expression, home run for Major League Baseball, really from start to finish.
Yeah, I would have to concur. Who was the Grumpy Pants Angels second baseman? We kind of used his name a lot. Is like because he was all old.
Oh, you mean Ian Kinsler?
There you go.
Rangers, really, but yeah,
Rangers,
Ian Kinsler.
And with the Angel, it just
did he go to the Angels? I don't remember him there. Maybe he did.
Just kind of grumpy.
The biggest grump in the world. Grumpus.
Just like, hey man, there's unwritten rules. And this is why you play the game, and there's just almost a grumpiness to some of that like old school nature. You know, you don't express, you don't emote. That's not this game. It's 162 days. Just keep it level. And Cal's got a lot of that to him. Like if you just looked at him, and you just kind of listened to him, and you just kind of talk to him, there is that kind of old school salt. But you're right. It doesn't
because it comes with a live and let live philosophy instead of I hate these guys who are changing the game.
Yes.
I mean, like, you know, let's just put it out with like when you sound like Kinsler, it's easy to make a lot of assumptions about other things you might believe in the world and reasons why you might not like some of the other people that are playing the game differently. And Cal's just exactly the opposite of that. And so, you know, all the glory he got this weekend, he deserves. He was, and then of course he just ripped a single into right field yesterday.
Yep.
Might have been a double in a real game. You know, he's shutting it down pretty quickly. You don't want to get thrown out in the All-Star game.
He's kind of got to that thing.
He did too. He did. I mean, that helps, right? And threw a dart to second base.
Yeah.
Good on Cal for not getting caught.
That's right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Down 2-0. I'm not going to try to play hero ball. He thought in his head for sure, and I think we all did when he hit it. That's a double.
Right.
And it got cut off, and then the rocket got thrown in. He's like, no.
Maybe not in the All-Star game. Maybe these guys
are
not
2-0. I'm still going to play the game the right way.
Pretty good. So yeah, it's been cool, and you know, we haven't talked to you since Friday. The last time we had together. You were in the dumps, not quite as bad as Lyle.
No, don't characterize me that way. That's not fair to do. Even my texts weren't all that extreme.
That's
Certainly
true.
not like Lyle. I just said, as everybody did, that was a gut-wrenching Thursday loss in New York. And can this team respond to that? And now it's Skubal and it's Mize and what's ahead of you. And
beat the living crap out of those guys.
I mean, poor Lyle, just, you know, his head fell off his body emotionally with that sweep. And then to go to Detroit, Salk, and sweep them was quite a statement those boys made, I think, to their management, right, and to the organization. Yeah, and then we didn't even get to talk about the draft. We got so much to do today.
I know.
Catch up.
I know.
And I got so many stories.
You do?
Too.
Give me a quick one. We're going to talk to Passan
I can't share these on the air.
Oh, there's nothing you can share on the air?
Oh, I mean, there's just, of course.
Did you see any wildlife up there?
Did I see a bear? Did I see multiple bears? Was I fishing for sockeye, and literally out of the bush, no less than 40 yards away, did a bear come out and start stomping around in the river?
Jeez.
Oh, yes, it did.
He had a little attitude.
Yeah. Yeah, the sockeye were flowing here now.
Yeah, and he didn't want you taking any of that.
Well, he had to kind of, or she, I don't know, had to stomp around and kind of activate them. And then here's the deal. You don't want to fish in a river with a bear. I know that, because once that bear hit the river, there was not many fish for a while. Once we shooed the bear back to the tundra.
Because they run, the fish know, or because the bear takes them all?
It's like an orca when you're in Puget Sound or you're fishing up in Canada and Alaska. Oh, this is so beautiful. Oh, this is amazing. Look at this gorgeous orca.
Right, no
Get
fish.
the heck out of there. There's going to be zero fish around. they want no part of that bear. They're not. They might not be the brightest things, but they know bears and they know orcas. But absolutely spectacular time. A bunch of Kraken. Got to hang out with hockey players. Jaden Schwartz.
Yeah.
Him and I, like, hot tub, cold in the lake.
Did you do what I told you? Did you look at his ankles?
Dude.
Messed up ankles?
No, his ankles weren't
that's
too
good.
bad. Yeah, some of his buddies were really beat up. They play over in Europe. Those dudes,
those
neck
guys,
fusions, and they take
a pretty good beating.
Yes, they do.
They take a pretty good beating. Oh, I'm sure you were admiring the power source and all
Great
of that.
legs, just great legs.
Yeah,
just a terrific time with the Kraken.
Good.
Yes.
All right. Well, I'm excited to hear more. Just so people know, Jeff Passan today at 8:30. Tomorrow it sounds like Joe Buck at 8:30.
For sure, Joe Buck. For sure,
Possibly Joel Klatt as well, a Joel and Joe kind of day.
Yeah.
And then Friday, of course, G. Scott will be in, and we'll kind of wrap up the week on Friday. And then I'm going to be out for a couple days next week. And I actually worked this out yesterday. I'm going to film it downstairs. So I don't know when we'll run it or some of it or what. But Hillary Knight, the greatest U.S. hockey player of all time. Is going to be, she's a member of the new Seattle PWHL team. So she's coming in with their first round pick and their GM, and I'll talk to them in the morning, and then we'll run it later. So it'll be taped downstairs in our new video lounge, which is pretty cool. So all right, hang on, let's come back. We'll give you guys everything you need to know. I've got 3 debates that came out of the All-Star game. We can have at 7:30. It's Brock and Salk, Seattle Sports on 710.
The clack of the cleats. The sounds of summer drifting off Lake Washington. These sounds of summer are the prelude to the symphony of fall and winter. Football season is coming. Just 7 days until Seahawks training camp begins.
Seattle Sports training camp coverage is presented by the Landing in Renton.
The home of the Seahawks, Seattle Sports.
Hey, on this Wednesday morning, I'd love to ask you a question. Are you frustrated and stressed with your insurance? Are you seeing your premiums just go up, and frankly, you don't know what you've got covered? You're just assuming way too many things. Well, don't be embarrassed. Molly and I were in the exact same boat a couple years ago, and we decided to take the First Mark Insurance Challenge, just like so many of my friends and family have. We heard so many of these First Mark Challenge victories that save people so much money. We decided it's time for us to do this. And by the way, it's totally free. And boy, am I glad we did. Not only has it saved us significantly on our premiums the last couple years, we know exactly what we've got covered. Here's how they do it. Here's how First Mark goes to work for you, like they did my parents. As I said, like so many of my friends, they fully analyze your current coverage, making sure you're not overpaying for the wrong coverage. Then, unlike you and me, they go to the market. Dozens of major carriers they've worked with for decades to find you the best fit. That's it. Take away the stress, take away the confusion. First Mark's your teammate, and they spent the last 30 years helping thousands of families successfully manage this complicated world of insurance. So please don't wait a morning longer. Make this Wednesday morning the morning you take the First Mark Challenge. It's totally free, and you might be the next First Mark Challenge victory. Just go to firstmarkinsurance.com. It's all right there. Firstmarkinsurance.com. Your teammate that goes to work for you.
Tired of sitting on your suitcase? 2 words, packing cubes. Sometimes a different way is the better way. Like the SR 509 Expressway, an alternate route that'll help manage congestion on I-5 and other local roads. Now open and free through summer.
Hey, it's Matt, your leaf filter trusted pro. Gutters are an often neglected part of the home. They're also one of the most important. Clogged, overflowing gutters can cause serious problems like foundation damage or basement flooding, which can cost thousands of dollars to fix. Let's face it, cleaning gutters yourself is not only a hassle, it can be dangerous. But when you get Leaf Filter, you'll never have to worry about cleaning clogged gutters again. Get started today by visiting leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free inspection. If you decide to move forward, we'll professionally clean, realign, and seal your gutters before installing our patented stainless steel micro mesh system. Leaf Filter keeps out everything but the water. And it's backed by a lifetime transferable no clogs warranty. So you're protected for good. We're in your neighborhood and ready to help. Visit Leaf Filter today for a free inspection and estimate, and you could save up to 30%. Visit leaffilter.com/deal. That's leaffilter.com/deal.
Hey friends, Stacy here. Wayscar Ford Isuzu in Auburn is celebrating its 103rd year anniversary, and their biggest sales event of the year is going on right now. Take advantage of their great pricing on new Fords, Isuzus, and commercial vehicles. Also, large discounts on their service and parts departments. What about those of you who want to sell a car? Wayscar Ford's Vehicle Profit Sharing Plan is the best deal out there. They purchase your car and pay you right up front. Then, when Wayscar Ford resells your old car, they share 50% of their profit with you. They've already paid back over $800,000 to customers. At Wayscar Ford, there's absolutely no games, no gimmicks, and no pressure. That's backed up by a full 5-day or 500-mile no questions asked return policy on absolutely every vehicle they sell. Change your mind for any reason, bring the vehicle back for a full 100% refund. So if you're like me, you want a good price, a low-key, no-pressure experience, and a full 5-day, 100% satisfaction guarantee, Wayscar Ford is the place to go. Check them out for yourself at wayscarford.com. Wayscarford.com.
Riverside Roofing has earned GAF Master Elite President's Club certification, which puts them in the 99.9th percentile of all roofers nationally. They're right here out of Marysville. You can find them at riversideroofingllc.com, and they are the roofing company you can trust.
The home of the Mariners.
It is gone! Cal Raleigh, 2-run home run!
Hear every pitch on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
Dave Wyman joined by Dr. Daniel Landis from Swedish Cyberknife. Dr. Landis, when treating prostate cancer, what can patients expect during Cyberknife treatment?
So the Cyberknife treatment's an outpatient procedure. Essentially, it's a 5-day treatment, about 30 minutes per day. You walk in, you walk out, you essentially don't feel anything at all during treatment. Many patients still work full-time while they're having treatment.
That's incredible. Treat prostate cancer with Swedish Cyberknife. Swedish.org/cyberknife prostate.
It is that time of year. I cannot wait for the weather to get warm like it is now on consecutive days. That means I can break the motorcycle out, ride to work, ride all over the place, and I love it more than just about anything. But I also know that it's not a matter of if, but when you get in an accident, what are you going to do? Well, I'll tell you, when you're injured in a motorcycle crash, don't settle for firms that say they're motorcycle lawyers. Trust the ones who live it. Law Tigers has been a part of the writing community for nearly 25 years nationwide. They are here 24/7, 365 days a year because writers deserve real support when they need it. Law Tigers is the resource writers can turn to when they are in need. Law Tigers is out at all the events and supporting all clubs and shops. The Law Tigers are always by your side. Your case evaluation is always free. There are no fees until your case settles. The Law Tigers, you never ride alone. Law Tigers, Washington's motorcycle lawyers. Jimmy Cook, 539 Broadway, Unit 104, Tacoma, Washington, 98402.
The future is here, so why is your internet stuck in the past? With Quantum Fiber Internet, you can get next-level multi-gig speed on a reliable fiber network. Fair and honest pricing with no annual contracts or bundling required. And whole home 360 Wi-Fi to make sure your devices are ready to take you where you want to go. So you can stream, post, game, surf, like, and love to your heart's content. You do you. Let Quantum Fiber Internet take care of the rest. Learn more at quantumfiber.com. Limited availability, service, and speed in select locations only.
Need to know.
15 minutes past every hour with Brock and Salk.
Here's what you need to know. Up first.
A strange but very cool night of baseball in Atlanta yesterday. National League ends up winning the All-Star game in the first ever swing-off, but the whole thing was great. They got up 6-0 on home runs from Pete Alonso and the local kid, Corbin Carroll, which was great. Then they gave it all back. Brent Rooker with a 3-run shot. American League taking advantage in the 9th to tie it up. And that got them to the first ever swing off. Each of the 3 players or on each team got 3 swings, not 3 outs, 3 swings, home run derby style. And Kyle Schwarber made all 3 counts.
Kyle has rallied in the swing off. With the hat trick. Look out, Chop House. National League takes the lead 4-3. Unbelievable.
It was unbelievable. Dude hit all 3 pitches he saw for home runs, which was just spectacular and not really even all that surprising. Just look at the guy, right?
No, he's kind of built like when you look at these like long drive competitions, they're just like that. Just I don't know, fire plugs.
Perfect format for him. And look, it helped that a lot of those guys were gone. Aaron Judge was gone, and some of those other guys weren't even at the ballpark anymore. Cal had already played, and they didn't want to put guys back into the game. But it was cool to see Randy out there for it, and he did a great job. He hit a home run, which was cool. I was excited to hear him speak English for the first time, which was awesome. Did you hear that?
No.
Randy, are you ready to go? He's like 100%. this is my moment. Like he was psyched for it. He went out there and hit a home run and just kind of did his Randy thing. He's so
those
weird. I
guys
love
speak
him.
a little better English.
Of course.
We're led on to believe
Which is fine.
sometimes.
But I just thought it was cool to hear him do it with Tom Verducci. Good for him.
You think that ball was out when he hit it in the game?
Yeah, I did.
I kind of did too.
Real close.
As hot as he has been.
Yeah, 5 other
Would have been a
parks.
home run in 5 different parks?
Yeah, I guess so.
Just not that.
Nice day for Brian Wu. Pitched perfect innings, struck out Ronald Acuna Jr. That was great. Munoz, not his best. Didn't quite struggle, but didn't look his best. He walked the guy. Just didn't have great command, but ended up getting out of it. Got Ellie De La Cruz to pop up. Kyle Stowers struck out. And so, yeah, the Mariners were very well represented this weekend. Very cool.
Yep.
Here's the second thing you need to know.
Something else to say?
I was just going to say, we opened the show talking about Cal's Q rating. I think the Mariners also helped themselves. And Cal kind of the front of the line with that. But it was also seeing those guys, seeing Wu, seeing Mooney, seeing a Rosarena. Like, oh, man, these Mariners are relevant. We knew it with 4 All-Stars, 5, really. Kind of knew they were relevant going in, and they all did their job.
Sorry, I've been doing Need to Know by myself the last few days. I forgot I was supposed to add somebody else's thoughts in there as well. Now that the draft is done, the All-Star game is done, it's time for the GMs, Brock, to really focus on the baseball trade deadline. It is 15 days away, 2 weeks from tomorrow. Mariners obviously needs it first, third, right, reliever, the obvious ones. But it was interesting, sitting with Shannon and Jason Churchill yesterday, they both also talked about pitching, starting pitching as a need.
The foundation of this baseball team is that rotation. They have not performed up to par, and for a reason. You know, Bryce Miller's obviously hurt. Logan Gilbert went through his thing, but there have been some inconsistencies there. Gilbert, since he's been back, Kirby a little bit up and down. Castillo, this year hasn't been clean and sharp, and there's a little bit of decline going on there, at least statistically. And obviously that 5th spot with Miller out, they're not getting the performance they've been getting in the past. To me, that's the biggest difference, because the offense is a little better. It certainly is a little better, and it's not just Cal Raleigh. Julio better the first 3-4 months of the season than he was a year ago. Randy Rosarena, obviously, wasn't even on a team last year until August. To me, it's this balance of mediocrity, rotation, lineup, bullpen, and it's probably all 3 of those spots they have to consider making some moves, at the deadline.
Later, he and Shannon both said definitely find starting pitching at the deadline.
What have you talked about in the past with management? One of the management takeaways that you had about strengths versus weaknesses.
Try to improve your strengths versus
That's right.
fixing your weaknesses. There are times where I agree with that. This isn't really one of them, to be honest with you. I mean, look, you can always use starting pitching. There's no such
And
thing
Bryce
as too
Miller's
much.
going to be a huge wild card in this. And by the way, they should kind of know with Bryce in the day or the week ahead, right? This was kind of the timing in an ideal sense as well. Like, hey, man, if it's not right, you're going to be shut down for the rest of the season.
Right.
But
and I
if you
expect
can-
him to be. I mean, like, I've just been kind of operating with the assumption that he
That
won't
he's
return
done.
this year
Yeah.
and that you get him back next year and kind of move on from there. Look, I don't disagree with the need. It's just really hard for me to imagine giving a lot up to bring in more pitching at the deadline. So I guess it kind of depends what's out there and what it costs. And I still think the bat's a little bit more of an important add.
Here's the third thing you need to know.
NBA league meetings in Vegas, and the news on expansion is mostly positive, I think. Not everyone seems to agree. Adam Silver says the league will do in-depth analysis of expansion. We'll look into the economic and non-economic impacts of it, non-economic including dilution of talent. Says a lot of analysis needs to be done. Nothing has been predetermined. Said this is essentially day one of the expansion process, and Tim Booth asked him about that.
Well, I'd say to them, thank you for your interest. We have not committed to expanding in the past. I think, yes, we have internally been looking at, I think, some of the obvious data that we had in front of us. But I think the next step is looking at specific markets, understanding what the opportunities in those markets are, understanding the facilities that are available to us to play in, understanding the level of interest from local businesses, understanding the overall appetite, in those markets that are expressing interest to us. And
I mean, that to me is that's the next step. That's how this works.
Yeah, they've already been doing all that.
Well,
I mean,
sure,
bless
but
his
that's
heart
how
for
it works
being out front.
publicly. You have to now start those things
That's right.
officially.
You could say that. But behind the scenes, this has been ongoing. Now, the disruptions in some of the conversations are because of the Lakers sell, the Timberwolves sell, the Celtics sell. So do you remember having this conversation like 10 years ago, right, and talking about the new expansion fee and like with the Clippers and Ballmer, right, buying it?
$2 billion.
Do you remember what that number was then? I mean,
$2 billion.
didn't he buy the Clippers for $2 billion?
Yeah.
He bought them for $2 billion.
Yeah.
I'm talking expansion fee. And
Isn't that usually around the value of a franchise?
That is not what I have heard really explicitly. We are talking just the expansion fee,
right,
of $4 to $5 billion
now.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, then
so for the new owners, there comes a time, and you're seeing this in baseball, and you're hearing across all sports. And to think that this is just going to grow and grow and grow and grow, that's not how markets work. There's a bubble,
of course,
and there is a real reservation. Even from the big whales that have billions of dollars to go, well, I don't want to be the one. And if I got to spend $4 billion on an expansion fee plus all of the other costs that come with this doesn't pencil. I mean, it just does not pencil and make any sense.
And the point has always been, tough.
That's
It's
right.
not supposed to pencil. You're supposed to own a sports team in the public interest.
Yeah, a lot easier
I'm
to
not
do that
saying
when they were like 100 million, 500 million, a billion. It's a lot harder to do that when you're billions and billions and billions and billions of dollars. And oh, by the way, a lot of that is leveraged in debt. So yeah, it's a much more complicated deal because of the valuation.
I would agree with that. I think what I've objected to is hearing people be like, "Oh, Adam Silver's just talking and not saying anything." Like, no, he's doing exactly what he's supposed to be doing. Like, I have no problems with anything Adam Silver said yesterday. The issue, I think, is, you're right, might not be NBA related. It might be owner related. Can you now find the right
100%.
people who actually have enough money, not Chris Hansen parading around pretending? That is everything you need to know.
Shrapnel.
Sorry.
Just some shrapnel.
Quarter past every hour
Well,
here in the Brock and Salk.
shrapnel. You know what shrapnel's like. It's not nice.
I do.
It's not
It's
nice
true.
to take
Well, it's
shrapnel.
not. It's just true. I mean, like, you got to have enough money to get something like this done. And he was unfortunately not in that category. So, all right. Brock, 3, maybe even 4 debates, although I think one of them can be settled very quickly from last night's All-Star game and this whole weekend. It's next on Brock and Salk.
The clack of the cleats, the sounds of summer drifting off Lake Washington. These sounds of summer are the prelude to the symphony of fall and winter. Football season is coming. Just 7 days until Seahawks training camp begins.
Seattle Sports Training Camp coverage is presented by The Landing in Renton.
The home of the Seahawks, Seattle Sports.
Man, it can be really hot in your house this time of year. Low heat wave in Seattle. And if your house feels hotter than it should, it might be because your insulation isn't up to snuff. That's why you call Crawl Pros. You have them come out and check everything out in your crawl space, in your attic. They'll look for everything that might be going wrong, but specifically have them check the insulation, because not enough insulation means too cold in the winter, too hot in the summer, right? Well, guess what? If they do find that you have a problem, you might get a lot of help paying for it. Utility companies have special incentives to help with that cost. Right now, Puget Sound Energy, if you're a customer and your home was built before 1990, you could qualify to receive a rebate on up to 95% of the cost to get your crawl space and attic properly insulated. Yeah, 95% of the cost. So don't wait. Call Crawl Pros right now and find out what is going on back there. If you're worried about water damage, mold, insulation, critters, issues, anything else related to your crawl space or attic, you know to call Crawl Pros or visit crawlpros.com to schedule a free inspection. That's crawlpros.com.
With Progressive, you can reach customer service in the way that's easiest for you, by phone, app, or online. We know it would be great if we just magically appeared, but that's more of a genie thing, and we do insurance. But with us, you'd be like, well, it wasn't a genie, but it was great customer service, so that's nice. And sure, you probably would still like the whole 3 wishes thing, so if you meet a genie, you should definitely ask. But when you need us, contact Progressive by phone, app, or online. Just no genies. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Hey, Green Gobbler here. So you've got a clogged drain in your bathroom. Water in the sink's overstaying its welcome. You're spitting today's toothpaste on top of yesterday's toothpaste. You hope that it go away. Yeah, clogs don't just go away. I make them go away. I'm Green Gobbler, the only clog dissolver you need. I'm bleach-free, safe for your pipes, and I work. Guaranteed or your money back. Because I never met a clog that was going to unclog itself. Green Gobbler. Let the gobbler get it.
Hey, are aches, injuries, or everyday pain slowing you down? Well, it is time to move better, feel stronger, and get back to doing what you love. IRG Physical and Hand Therapy is now accepting new patients, and no referral is needed. Their expert team offers personalized hands-on care to help you recover faster and stay pain-free longer. Shannon, what is it like to see new patients walk through your doors?
Rock, it's wonderful. You know why? It's because it's an opportunity for us at IRG to make a difference in someone's lives. It's so important that when people come in, they experience engagement, coaching, teaching. We build relationships with our patients, and we want to make it easy. We all know that healthcare has a lot of what I call minutia in it. We have a concierge call center. When you call, we're going to check your authorization, verification, certification, justification. We're going to find out everything we need to know about your insurance, and we're going to make it easy for you because we want you focusing on getting better.
And all you got to do is head over to irgpt.com to find the clinic nearest you. irgpt.com.
When it comes to the security of your business, doubts can creep in about who you're trusting to protect it. Are they a reliable service? How will I know if something happens? Are they keeping everyone safe? At Bay Alarm, we got you. For nearly 80 years, we've been putting our customers' minds at ease with our advanced technology and personalized support. Feeling insecure about your current security service? Visit bayalarm.com today to talk to a local security expert.
The home of the Mariners, Seattle Sports.
Cal swinging a drive, deep to right field.
Every pitch of every Mariners game is on the Seattle Sports app.
Eric Johnson here. I spent the past 30 years working to help make our community better informed, better protected when it comes to consumer issues, and better equipped to take on whatever life throws at us. That's why I love the free Washington Accident book series from Davis Law Group. These books keep us better informed about the law, better able to protect ourselves on and off the road, and better off when all is said and done after an accident. Chris Davis didn't have to write these books. He did it because he saw a need. People who were in accidents or other legal situations didn't know what to do, what pictures to take, documents to request. Only a tiny fraction of the people who get these free books will ever become clients of Davis Law Group, but that's not the point. Chris wrote them because it was the right thing to do. The free Washington Accident book series is a must-have for drivers who want to be prepared for whatever the road might throw at them. Get yours at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
Comcast Business helps turn today's small businesses into engines of modern business. It's how restaurants become reliably up and running neighborhood favorites. How retailers become seamlessly restocking, cyber-securing must-visit shops. And how healthcare offices become the data managing caregivers that we all depend on. With reliable connectivity, enhanced cybersecurity, advanced fiber solutions, and Wi-Fi backup, Comcast Business is powering the engine of modern business. Powering possibilities.
Now through July 21st, new Comcast Business customers can find out how to get started with 150 megabit internet and Security Edge for $59.99 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement. Plus, ask how you get a $500 prepaid card for your business. Call and switch to Comcast Business today. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and automatic payments with bank account. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. Early termination fee applies.
This hour of the Brock and Salk Show is powered by Star Rentals, preferred supplier to the West's best contractors.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Brock and Salk.
Weekdays 6 to 10.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
All right, rolling along here, Brock and Salk. We'll talk to Jeff Passan in an hour, and certainly some of these debates that came out of yesterday, last night at the All-Star game, will be good for Jeff. 3, maybe 4. We're going to start with a real quick one, Brock, because I think this will be almost universally agreed upon. It was great to see them go back to just wearing their own uniforms.
100%.
No thanks on the ALNL uniforms. Just do this all the time. It's great.
Nope. Yeah, I don't think there's much of a debate about that.
Everybody likes it.
Yep.
So no debate. We all agree. Everybody concurs 100%.
It's kind of cool. It's like
across
a
the board.
kaleidoscope of baseball, man. You get a chance, and everybody in their own market can recognize their players, and even people from other market then get to say, oh, yeah, that's right, he's with the Mariners.
Yep.
Versus I don't really know who this guy is.
Yeah. And it was cool to see the uniforms they use for the home run derby. Like, just keep it there. That's fine. You don't need it in the actual All-Star game. And I love seeing them just go back to wearing their home and road jerseys. That was great. Okay. The biggest one, obviously, is the swing off. That's how the game ended yesterday. It was super fun. I loved it. I really enjoyed the format. I loved how new it was and unique, and we'd never seen it before, and I thought it put real pressure on the players that were doing it. I'm not upset that Aaron Judge and other guys weren't in there because, A, some of them had literally left, and B, the ones who had started the game were cold. It would have been an injury risk to put those guys in it.
Did you know that was coming? Did you know?
Maybe in like the 7th, I saw something about it.
You looked it up, or... Yeah, because I had no idea.
I had forgotten.
And in the past, it ended in a tie, and that was kind of distasteful. And it doesn't mean World Series advantage and home field advantage. You think it should?
Yeah, why not?
Is that one of our debates too?
Well, I know it's an old debate. I mean,
get ready to debate that.
I just think it's a better one than going back and forth. Like, going back and forth is silly. Either give it to the team with the best record and earn it.
The team with the best record.
But they don't do that. They've gone back and forth, which is even worse. At least the All-Star game had some form of merit.
Make the 162 games matter. It's very simple.
I mean, I would. That's fine too.
Absolutely host.
I would prefer that also. But okay. Anyway, I liked it. I thought it was great. I am absolutely terrified that they're going to try to do too much of a good thing and now put this in as like the tiebreaker for every baseball game during the season.
No. There's been speculation of that?
I'm speculating it.
Oh.
Because just what you see with everything. Oh, this is good. Let's do more. Oh, people like this? Let's do it all the time. People like this? Let's do much more of it. Oh, this was fun once because it was novel and new and unique. Let's do it every day. It's embarrassing for sports. And by the way, it's going to be the subject of my next one, too, my next debate. Baseball and all sports are obsessed with this. Oh, it's new and unique and different, and somebody liked it. We better do it all the time instead of realizing that they liked that it was occasional. They liked that it was rare. They liked that they'd never seen it before, and I'd be happy to do this again in the next All-Star game, but please keep this the hell away from the regular season.
1,000%. It has no place in the regular season. Are you going to count those as home runs for guys?
I don't know, man. They allow runs that start with a man on second to count. They allow shootouts in the NHL. Like, all these things that sound ridiculous to folks who grew up when we did are allowed in sports. So I really hope this isn't next.
Okay. I would. We're not debating much because I would be in line with all of these things thus far. I don't think we see this any differently. And I get where you're coming from too, because unfortunately that is a reactionary move that is made in business and made in sport all the time. Well,
hey, we got 64 teams in the tournament. It's great. You know, we should have 68. Hey, 68 is cool. You know, we should have 84. You know, we should have 125. Like, stop.
14 playoff. We got to have 12.
12?
14 playoff. Nope, got to have
12. 64. Let's do 64 teams in college football every year. It just the allure of somebody liked it, we have to do more, drives me completely insane. So that's another one, and that probably leads me to the next one, Brock, which is the in-game interviews. They were great when you do one or two a game.
Yep.
I think we've all loved interviews with players while they're out on the field. George Springer comes to mind as a particularly great one. Obviously, our guy, Victor Robles was
Monkeys. Yeah.
Like, that stuff's awesome when you do it every once in a while.
Correct.
Doing it in every inning yesterday, I thought was an embarrassment. I thought it all but ruined the game at times for me because it didn't give the announcers a good enough opportunity to talk about the guys and celebrate the guys who were actually performing on the field at the time.
Yeah. Yes, and being in the broadcast world, Salk, and Tony Dorsett's at the game. Should we interview him? Oh, the commissioner's here. Should we bring him in the booth? And every time you do that, it just holds the game in those moments hostage.
Yeah.
Right? Because you feel like, wow, we got to use them. We got to get to them. It's just from a broadcast standpoint. And then typically something just magical is going to happen. Majestic's going to happen. And it's like, oh, crap. I really wish, we weren't bound to this and tied to this.
Well, and in the All-Star game, it's not always that something magical is going to happen, but what bothered me yesterday, and I was in and out a little bit, so maybe I missed some of it. I was cooking, I had to drive kids places, so I didn't get every part of the game. I got a lot of it. And for example, Brian Wu was in pitching, and I wanted to hear a little celebration of Brian Wu.
Right.
Like, hey, this guy has been unbelievable this year. He's gone 6+ innings in every outing, and he's out of nowhere. Nobody expected this, and his story is incredible. You know what I got? A full interview with Jacob Wilson and his dad.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't even mention that Brian Wu was on the mound, as far as I could hear. Yeah. Which kind of stinks for him and stinks for me, because I wanted to see more on Brian Wu, and I think fans want to hear their guys get celebrated.
Yeah.
I felt like they missed some of those opportunities, and
it made it feel like a preseason NFL football game.
Yeah.
Because if you watch preseason NFL football games versus regular season, what do you see? You see a lot of interviews in that second half, especially. Why? Because the level of play kind of dips down.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's second and third string and fourth string and kind of bubble guys. And even then, I kind of fought back at times. It was like, gosh, if this is so-and-so and this is their cup of coffee in the NFL, guess what they don't want to have when they make a great play? You're interviewing Michael Bennett on the sidelines, or,
and some
you're
of it is
somebody
cool,
else.
right? I mean, like, I thought the Kershaw stuff was great. That worked really well. That was
100%.
cool. He's talking to Smoltz. They're going back and forth. They have a relationship. Like, that was awesome, and made that part of it even better.
Yep.
But that would have been enough.
Again, if a little bit.
That's fine. That's all you need.
If a little bit works, you do a little bit more. You do a little bit more. You do a little bit more. And by that time, it just is. Yeah, it takes away the. I don't know, the purity of the game a little bit, and also, and I know I did not get a sense last night, just in the social realms, that people were thrilled about that.
Yeah,
I think,
which is too bad, because when it's done right, it's awesome. And the Kershaw thing was awesome. That was great.
That was.
He's literally talking to him as he's throwing a pitch.
What should I throw here?
He doesn't have enough time.
Will wants another curveball. Well, throw the cutter slider in. I don't have the cutter slider in, John. I don't have that.
Like, I thought that was really fun.
That was really good. Yeah.
But by the time you're down to Jacob Wilson and his dad Jack talking together and literally not mentioning Brian Wu's name while he's on the mound, I think that's not fair to Brian Wu or any Seattle fans. And it just happened to have been Wu. It could have been somebody else. I'm sure that happened to someone else, but it was especially noticeable for me because I wanted Brian Wu to have his moment. First time All-Star, doing something really cool. Yeah, I thought that was great. And it got ruined, unfortunately, by the, more is more. Maybe the third and final debate, or maybe it's the fourth one, kind of falls into that category. I don't know. But that would be the use of the ABS system, the automated balls and strikes. I don't hate it. I don't like it. Maybe I kind of like it. But I really don't want more of it than what we've seen.
Right. And that's the danger. Salk, it's my old slippery slope.
Well, all of these are this slippery slope.
Yeah. We just circle all things new are old and old are new. And we've had this conversation about a lot of different topics. Can you really just limit it to 2 or 3? Or all of a sudden is this, pretty easy and it happens pretty fast in the flow of the game. And it's more,
do it all the time. Let's do 6. Let's do 10. Let's just constantly check it. And I don't need that.
Ultimately, robo-umps behind the plate as well. I mean, where does this thing start? Where does it end?
Yeah, I think that's obviously the fear that a lot of people have with it is. But I will say, what we saw last night was great. I mean, like, that's good.
It's spring
quick.
training was great.
It's very limited. There's a strategy to it, and if you screw it up, there's a level of punishment where you can't keep doing it. I thought that was really good. As I watch it, a couple of things jump out to me. I really like it on the edges, on the inside and outside corner of the plate. I think that's right. I think it's really hard for an umpire to gauge that, and I think that there's a very definitively called strike zone because the plate's not moving. That is the strike zone to the left and to the right.
But isn't the ball moving?
It is, but where it crosses, they can tell where it crosses.
It does?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not where it ends. It's where it crosses the plane of the plate. So I'm okay with that, honestly. That doesn't bother me. I really don't love the up and down top and bottom of the zone. And the one that they caught yesterday, it might have been, I forget which one.
Early. It was Scooble in the first.
Maybe it was that one, or maybe it was it nicks the bottom of the plate at the bottom. Like, if the guy called it a ball, it's a freaking ball. Like, I'm sorry. Like, that one didn't work for me. I thought that's a little over the top. Yeah. And the borderline pitches that, like, I think it's okay for us not to know. I absolutely want to clear up one that's totally missed, but I really don't need the I really don't need the every single close play call.
Well, the NFL has been able to do it, right? When it comes to instant replay, the NFL has been able to kind of keep the number of challenges and the number of replays, in line, and been able to manage that and not expand it. The one thing about it, and we felt it this spring as well, is it is fast. This is not delaying the game, right? Skubal challenged very, very early, and basically by the time he circled the mound and got to the top of the mound for his next pitch, it was already decided. So that is the one thing that has been done right. That's the one thing I think that's been refined in the minor leagues where they have operated this, Salk, over the last few years, and I do like that. I do like, and we've seen this with the pitch clock as well, I do like that the minor leagues have been kind of a testing ground for this before it gets to the major league level. And I would say I do not need it expanded. I would like to keep it kind of where it is with a couple challenges. And if you're wrong, you lose them. And the efficacy, is that right? The speed, the efficiency of it is something they've got dialed down pretty well. What are you looking at on your phone?
Well, Passan screwed up his time zones.
Oh, dog.
I mean, he's such a great genius that he can't understand time zones. So he's like, oh, I can't do 8:30 now. Can we do it right now? And I was trying to get him to do 8 o'clock, but that wasn't going to work. So I guess we got to do it now because he can't do 8.
Well, let's do it now. We can do Blue 88.
Yeah, we can move Blue 88. I know it's fine. We could do all those things. Just how I don't like change, Brock.
Yeah.
I don't like that getting messed up. It messes up tomorrow morning. Like, it just messes up everything.
I know.
I hope we better not pay him for today if this is the case. I mean, my God,
right.
this is out of control.
You don't get 10 minutes, 12 minutes. Sorry, 25 is what you're paid for. Maybe we pay him half and make it a lesson of learning your freaking time zones. Do you have challenges with that? Time zones? Does that ever really get you?
The only time I ever challenge with time zone is if I put something into my calendar when I'm in another time zone, and then you get back and it's screwed up. Jeff Passan joins us right now. We'll do a short version with Jeffrey. Good morning, sir. How are you?
Gentlemen, I very much appreciate you accommodating my stupidity here, and we can do a fuller version later in the week if you would prefer that. But
yeah.
I will stop filibustering here, and we can get right into Cal Raleigh.
We're gonna jam 25 minutes into 10. Okay, 25 minutes into 10. Quick answers. The season of Cal. Is that what we're watching?
Sure looks like it. And I think earlier this year you were saying, is there any way that Cal Raleigh can get into the MVP conversation? And me and my eternal hubris was like, no, Aaron Judge is awesome. Why would you even think that? And I'm an idiot, and we know that at this point. It's just going to be, regardless of how it turns out, remembered as the year that Cal Raleigh put his imprimatur on
Jeff, I love you. We can't.
We're gonna.
Your phone is messed up.
Let's redial real quickly.
Your
Brady,
phone is
hang
messed up.
Yeah, Brady, hang up on him right now, Brady. Just dump
up.
him. Just dump that caller from New York or Kansas City or wherever he is.
All I'm going to say, Brock, is nothing went wrong the last couple of days while you weren't here. We had everything flowing very smoothly.
You going to point the finger at me?
No, no, I'm not
you,
pointing
Charles,
the finger.
and Brady were a triumvirate, and you added the fourth, the Macho Quattro, and it just goes down the toilet.
Everything was very smooth while you weren't here, and now you're here, and Passan's all messed up. We can't hear him. He's at the wrong time. He's only going to be a couple minutes. Like, I'm just saying everything worked really well until now. Now it's a big mess.
I'll put it on my narrow shoulders. Yeah, it's my fault. It's fine. All right. Brady, how's he sound? Does he sound a little better? Come on.
He sounds a little bit better, and he's back on right now.
All right. There you go. Jeff, hopefully we can hear you better now.
Can I answer the question now?
Yes.
Yes. Go ahead.
Okay. I was saying that you guys asked me earlier this year, can Cal Raleigh get into the MVP conversation? And in my eternal hubris, I was like, no, it's Aaron Judge. Of course not. And I'm an idiot. This is the year that Cal Raleigh introduced himself to the world, and the world fell in love with Cal Raleigh. And he has been Seattle's secret for a long time. And as somebody who lives outside of the Seattle metropolitan area, I just want to say thank you for sharing this gift with us, because Cal Raleigh's awesome. The home run derby was awesome. Everything he's done this year is awesome. And you just hope that a season like this can be rewarded with more than what the other Seattle Mariners have given us in the past.
Well, so we'll in turn say thank you, because the column you wrote, the article you wrote on him, the piece was great. I mean, it was really excellent. awesome new insight and cool stories, and you went in depth, and I really enjoyed the heck out of it. You also got to be on the field as Cal was doing his thing. Hopefully he wasn't too distracted by your red suit, but he's out there doing his thing, and all the other players are reacting to it. Brock and I talked a little bit about how, his authenticity is in his humility, but it doesn't come off, and Brock made a good comp. It doesn't feel like Ian Kinsler, who hates everybody else who's new and fun. Cal's just who he is, and Ellie De La Cruz and O'Neal Cruz, and those guys can be who they are. And it was cool to see some of those differences without having to pass judgment on it. What was the vibe like amongst the different guys who were out on the field at that time?
It was really interesting because he literally beat Brent Rooker by an inch to stay in the home run derby. Like, that's how close we were to Cal Raleigh not even making it past the first round. And so I think there was some gratefulness there, and just seeing the Raleighs, plural, interact with people. Todd Raleigh, his dad, sort of stayed off to the side. I think he was trying to keep cool because it was just so hot down on the field. But T. Raleigh, like, what a stud. That kid is just turned 15 years old. He's bigger than Cal already, by the way. And the fact that he was among all of the players and not acting sheepish or overwhelmed, but like he belonged, and the kid saved me. Because I got to be honest, in my red suit, which, by the way, I thought looked pretty good, I was put in a position that I never thought I would be, where my voice would be resonating around an entire stadium. And I was so nervous. I mean, I told this to Cal yesterday. I was like, dude, I really wanted you to win. But if you lost, it wouldn't have been too bad because I wasn't going to be doing the interview then. And there are parts of my job I know that I'm good at, and one of them is not asking questions live on field, particularly in front of 40,000 people. And the one question that I was sure was not going to give a good answer was the one to a 15-year-old, because 15-year-old boys are idiots, and they don't have anything insightful to say. And I asked T. Raleigh, what was the perspective like, and what did you see from the best seat in the house? And the kid said, greatness. It was the best one-word answer I've gotten in my 25 years in this business doing this. And thank goodness for T. Raleigh. Thank goodness for Cal Raleigh, Todd Raleigh, and all of them for really being accommodating and gracious and bringing not just Seattle, but the whole viewing audience a really cool moment.
So help me understand and answer this question that's been pinged to me by a lot of now casual baseball fans that are just captivated by this Cal Raleigh story. And that is, hey, how does a 28-year-old do this? How does a guy in his fourth year in the big leagues do this? Even the esteemed Mike Salk didn't have him on his most intriguing list because we thought we knew who and what Cal Raleigh was all about. There were 1,000 at-bats at the major league level. How is he at this age, in this stage, been able to take this step, Jeffrey?
To suggest that there's like a firm answer to that, I'd probably be lying. But I did ask Cal, as I was reporting this story, some different elements that I was noticing, and whether putting them together is just like a narrative crutch by me or if there's actually some reality to it. But I think if you read the story, you see this person who in his past had slights, and those slights fueled him. Like, one detail I didn't include was, how he didn't make the team in middle school. The last two people who were picked ahead of him were like twin girls. And so Cal is, he has that happen. He's told in high school he's never going to play catcher, or never going to play in college. He's told in college he's probably not a catcher long term. He's told, you should pick a side to swing from because you're not going to be a switch hitter. So you have like all of these things building on top of each other, and he gets this like really thick skin to deal with it. He deals with some issues early on in his career, not just of failure, but of belonging and of being part of the clubhouse. There's some people in the clubhouse who are giving him too much grief. So you have all these different things that he's overcoming. And finally, like, he figures out, hey, I have all these wins under my belt. I figured it out by working harder than everybody else, by putting in the time, by caring about people. And I think when he signed that contract, guys, it unlocked something in him. I think it freed him up. And it's weird to say, you know, you get $100 million plus and it makes you better, because we've seen so many cases where people get the money and they rest on their laurels. I think it was different with him. I think he didn't have to spend any time thinking about the future, because the future was made already, and it was made through that work, and it was made through the diligence that he did when he sat down with Jerry DiPoto and Justin Hollander for 2.5 hours this spring in full uniform, asking them questions, absolutely peppering them about the future of the Mariners franchise to ensure that he was comfortable with where they were going and that they were putting together a championship caliber ball club. And I think all of that combined, the confluence of it has just freed him up to be the best version of himself.
Yeah, it's a really great story. And it's funny, I talked to Jim Abbott yesterday after his documentary came out this week, and there's some similarity there, right? Like, you know, would you have made it if you had two hands? And he's like, yeah, I don't know. I don't think so. And for the right person, that need to overcome things really can be a spectacular motivator. And obviously 2 examples there in which it's worked really well. Speaking of that, how about these Mariners doing some of that themselves? Like, every time you want to be like, oh, you get swept in New York, you're bad. They turn around and score 35 runs in Detroit and just blow their doors off. We're 2 weeks away now, 2 weeks from tomorrow, from the trade deadline. I'm rooting against Arizona. I'm rooting against Minnesota. Let me throw a bunch of names at you and tell me if there's any hope for any of these guys. Obviously, Eugenio Suarez, Josh Naylor.
Yes.
Do you have to talk Willie Castro at third base? Is Jose Ramirez is there any chance Cleveland will ever deal Jose Ramirez?
None. Don't bother spending time talking about it.
All right. So we're back to Gino and Naylor.
Yeah. I mean, it would be perfect. And I think it would make this team right there with every other team in the American League that has World Series aspirations. Detroit, they're 25 games over 500. I know they got absolutely sunned by the Mariners, but I think you can see beyond that series what the Tigers have done over the first half this year, and you can't ignore it. But does that trade or a trade for even one of them put them up there with the Yankees? Yes. Red Sox? Yes. Rays? Yes. Blue Jays? Yes. Astros? Yeah, I think so. I just think the Mariners are going to be aggressive, and I think they should be. You don't take years like this from superstars and waste them, period. And I think the Mariners front office knows that. Like, we can't ever expect a season like this from Cal Raleigh again. It's unreasonable, right? I mean, we're looking at comparisons, and I said this in the story. It's not just the numbers, guys. It's the fact that we are talking about Cal Raleigh being up there with Barry Bonds, with Ken Griffey Jr., with Mickey Mantle. Like, these are luminaries in the sport, and he belongs. And so when you get a season like that, don't waste it. Do everything you can, because once October comes around and once that guy steps in the batter's box, he can do magical things.
Jeffrey, last minute here. Biggest takeaway from the 2 days that you just spent at the All-Star game from your perspective for the sport of baseball?
I loved the swing off. I thought it was awesome. The Derby always feels like it needs a little freshening up. It was not one of those where I'm walking away thinking, oh, my God, that was unbelievable. There were unbelievable moments. Seeing O'Neal Cruz hit a ball 513 feet was awesome. But also, like, not being able to appreciate it in the moment because he's got another pitch coming at him right there. Like, they are ever more trying to figure out what the best format of the Derby is, and they still haven't quite landed it yet, but it's almost like the swing off, it's almost like the swing off is, I'm not going to say the new version of the Derby, but a wonderful version of the Derby. And one more quick takeaway, getting Kate Anderson with the number 3 overall pick in the draft was an absolute coup for the Mariners, and the sort of thing that sets them up every bit as much for all of the other things they've done to have a really, really bright future, and it's great to see.
I like the swing off too. Jeff, please promise me that that's not going to become like the new extra innings during the regular season.
I sure hope not.
Oh, my God. I will be so angry.
You know what, though, Mike? Like, there are things in life that are great in very small doses, and that is the perfect example.
Yeah,
don't want it all the time.
What league has ever listened to that logic? Hey, let's do shootouts in every hockey game. Hey, this is fun. Let's do it all the time. Like, hey, in-game interviews are fun. Let's do 100 of them. I get very nervous about that. I think that too much of a good thing is something people always forget about. So I hope you're right. Jeff, we will forgive you next time. People wanted us to make you sing in punishment, but I know that's really more of a thrill for you than a punishment. So we'll have to come up with something else.
I will be on later this week if you guys will have me. So we can talk much more in depth about this.
Right. We'll text later. Have fun. Get out of Atlanta safely. And we will talk to Jeff soon. And we'll be right back on Brock and Salk.
He called it 20 years ago.
I'm the home run derby champ.
And as he always does, the Big Dumper delivered.
The Big Dumper is your home run derby champion.
Congratulations, Cal Raleigh.
I just can't believe it long. It's unbelievable.
We can't wait for the second half of the Season of Cal on Seattle Sports on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
What'd you say? I'm the man. Oh, yeah.
It is that time of year. I cannot wait for the weather to get warm like it is now on consecutive days. That means I can break the motorcycle out, ride to work, ride all over the place, and I love it more than just about anything. But I also know that it's not a matter of if, but when you get in an accident, what are you going to do? Well, I'll tell you, when you're injured in a motorcycle crash, don't settle for firms that say they're motorcycle lawyers. Trust the ones who live it. Law Tigers has been a part of the writing community for nearly 25 years nationwide. They're here 24/7, 365 days a year because writers deserve real support when they need it. Law Tigers is the resource writers can turn to when they are in need. Law Tigers is out at all the events and supporting all clubs and shops. The Law Tigers are always by your side. Your case evaluation is always free. There are no fees until your case settles. The Law Tigers, you never ride alone. Law Tigers, Washington's motorcycle lawyers. Jimmy Cook, 539 Broadway, Unit 104, Tacoma, Washington, 98402.
Hey, Brock Hewitt here for my friends at PCF Group, or People Come First Construction Group, and that's exactly what they did when we made the call a couple years ago. We wanted to redo our outdoor space, wanted to add a deck, an outdoor living, a television, and a kitchen. And PCF Group, wow, they more than delivered. And if you're interested in building a stunning outdoor area like we did, I cannot recommend them enough. Reach out before the good weather arrives, and their schedule, well, it's going to fill up. So whether you're looking for a complete outdoor living space or a very specific project like an underdeck ceiling, deck, patio cover, railings, PCF has you covered. Design now and pay later. In fact, get 12 months, no interest and no payments, and up to $6,000 off and a $1,000 Amazon gift card. Request a complimentary design and estimate consultation at 425-629-8476 or project ideas. Explore photos at pcfgroup.com. That's 425-629-8476.
This is my life. This is my family's life. The people that work here, they're my family. When something's not right with them, it's not right with us.
We get notifications every time we get a review. And I said, how do you not let it eat you up? Sometimes I feel so responsible. And his answer was, I just look at it as an opportunity. We need that feedback to learn and to do better. I'm grateful for the feedback.
Big part of sales is the relationship aspect. People want to do business with someone they can trust, who's a real person. They don't feel like you're just going after their money. And when you take the time to get to know them, get to know their needs, not be a car salesman, but be a consultant, then they feel more comfortable with you, and just the experience is better on both sides.
It's not about closing deals. It's about opening relationships, helping people make the right choice. The LJ Way is the Lee Johnson Auto family.
Hey golf fans, Jordan Babineau here. Get ready for an unforgettable weekend at the 2025 Boeing Classic. Come see Masters champions and Hall of Fame golfers battle it out at the club at Snoqualmie Ridge, August 8th through the 10th. Bring the whole family and check out Seahawks Village, packed with fun for all ages. Plus, celebrate 20 years of the Boeing Classic, supporting the Benaroya Research Institute at Virginia Mason Franciscan Health. It's more than just golf. It's an experience you won't want to miss. August 8th through the 10th. Tickets start at just $20 and kids get in free. Visit BlowingClassic.com for more.
America's favorite car show is back. It's the Good Guys 37th Griot's Garage Pacific Northwest Nationals, presented by Wicked Fabrication. July 25th to the 27th at the Washington State Fair Event Center. Over 2,500 of the Northwest's finest hot rods, muscle cars, and trick trucks. Shop the Fender Midway. A free family fun zone, great live music, Saturday night twilight cruising, and so much more. July 25th to the 27th at the Washington State Fair Event Center in Puyallup. Details at good-guys.com.
Want to cut your home energy bills, breathe cleaner air, and improve comfort? The answer, AeroSeal from Home Comfort Alliance. This advanced process seals leaks in your ductwork, improving efficiency and air quality. Normally $2,500. Right now, for PSC customers, get AeroSeal for as little as $99 when they install a furnace or heat pump. Plus, save up to 25% on remaining 2024 heat pumps and air conditioners from Home Comfort Alliance. Visit homecomfortalliance.com today.
When businesses thrive, communities score. That's why Bank of America is the official bank of FIFA World Cup here in Seattle. And our more than 95 local business specialists are ready to help your business win. What would you like the power to do? Learn more at bankofamerica.com/local business. Bank of America, official bank of FIFA World Cup 2026. Bank of America Corporation, all rights reserved.
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports.
Get his freaking auto!
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Brock and Salk on Seattle Sports.
I don't read the internet, guys.
Take the bull by the hands.
And Brooke, you are. And Brooke, you are.
Now here are your hosts, Brock Heward and Mike Salk.
All right, so that was Jeff Passan. Sorry about sort of the, moving some things around. It means that Blue 88 will be at 8:45 today, which is fine. A little late version of Blue 88. We'll get into some football talk at that point.
It's getting real, by the way. The rookies reported yesterday.
Yeah.
Well, all but two. And we'll talk about that in Blue 88.
That's for sure.
Uh-huh.
Yep, that's been sort of an undercurrent story here, kind of hiding behind everything else. But yeah, we'll dig into some football stuff there. You hear a lot from Jeff, but just to come back to the biggest story of the week, it's Cal Raleigh in every way. Jeff's article on it is great. His interview with Cal and his family and everything he got on that is just, it's really worth your time. But, you hear him say, the Raleighs kind of took over the week to the point where maybe he is even more of an MVP candidate, not just for what he's actually doing on the field, but for that Q rating, fun factor, whatever that thing is that you've got to have. It feels like Cal established some of that this weekend.
Yep, always concerned down here in Southeast Alaska in the late games during the regular season that kick off at 11 o'clock on the East Coast, all well documented how difficult it is from an exposure standpoint versus your peers in New York and yada, yada, yada. But, man, I mean, he just the touch points was with everybody. It was with the casual fan. Right, it's going to bring everybody in. The story of father and son and brother never happened before. And oh, by the way, there's both a humility to them, and as he said, his little brother calling it out like this is greatness, doing things that have never been done in the history of the sport, kind of wrangling some of the old heads, the Ken Griffey Juniors and the Johnny Benches, to be like, hey man, this is different. So yeah, I don't know how it could have gone any better for Cal. Now, was it an inch away from a lot of this not happening?
You buying the conspiracy theory that Major League Baseball wanted Cal to advance over Rooker?
Not at all, Salk. I trust lasers.
Okay.
Laser
well, these
technology.
aren't lasers. This is just this is math.
It's lasers. Salk,
Isn't
it's
this
lasers.
math? Just launch angle
They got
and
lasers
velocity.
in the stadiums. They know exactly where that ball landed.
I don't think so. No, I don't think it's that at all. I think it's just it's all estimated, right?
Oh, interesting.
It's all launch angle and
Fred, what do you got? I don't know. Beth, what do you got? Hey, do the quick math. What do you got?
You think they're using the like the scopes that you use on the golf course to figure out how far away the flag is?
Oh, for sure.
I don't think so. I don't think it's that. No.
I don't know. An inch away from a lot of this not happening, and yet it went the right way, and then just totally captivating. And then to pay it off yesterday, right? To be mic'd up behind home plate as well, see some of just the everyman and just the personality, to see him lace a ball into the gap. Like, the dude has just responded at every single turn through the first half of the season, and now got about 70 games to continue that story.
Yeah, and it was cool. The one thing that I think you would have really enjoyed this week was talking to Johnny Bench. And as I said,
Can I hear him sing, by the way? I think Brady's got
Did you cut it, Brady? Did you cut him singing?
I have it ready to go.
Oh, here you go.
Yeah,
Here's
let me
Johnny
hear
Bench
Brady.
singing.
Well, we're going to go far. We learned from the stars. I got a hunch you love the baseball bunch.
There you go. He can sing a little bit too, by the way. I think he did some acting and stuff. Like Johnny Bench,
Sure.
kind of a Renaissance man.
But
he was telling the story, Brock, of how they were at the Gold Glove Awards a year ago in November, and he's like, I don't know, somehow it just ended up walking across the street with Cal, just got stuck together somehow. And this, and I was like, yeah, I don't think you were stuck together somehow. I think Cal sought you out and started asking you questions because he had an opportunity to chat with the greatest catcher of all time. And the way he praised him and the way he talked about what Cal's doing, but also recognizing some of the challenges of not getting that day off, and just how hard it is to be a catcher and how few of them there are in the Hall of Fame. Like, it was an interesting sort of look from the end of a career, obviously well past a career. Here he is just talking about catchers in general.
You only got like 15 catchers, I think, in the Hall of Fame, and that's because they only come around once every 10 years because they don't win batting titles. They don't win home runs. They don't win the RBIs and everything else. And so we got a chance to watch a young man who's dedicated to what he's doing, dedicated to a young pitching staff that's got some potential and a lot of talent. And you got a guy that just is truly one good guy. And he doesn't ask it. He doesn't want the accolades. He just wants to, play. And that's what catchers are. They're workhorses. Sparky used to say, I said, am I going to get a day off? He said, let me put it to you this way. If we're behind, I'm going to catch you to catch up. If we're tied, I'm going to catch you to get ahead. If we're ahead, I'm going to catch you to stay ahead. I said, I'm not getting the day off, am I? He said, no, you just ride that old mule until it drops. So it's what it is. It's a thing, and it couldn't be, I couldn't enjoy it more than this opportunity to talk about Cal and what he's doing.
Yeah. And I think why they come around kind of once in a generation, Salk, is it is so unbelievably difficult to do it all. You can be a great defense catcher like Joe Girardi was as a backup. You can be a great hitting catcher as Mike Piazza was. But to truly do it all at a platinum level behind the plate, and then a switch hitting catcher breaking records.
Even Johnny Bench, the greatest catcher of all time, played first base, played third base, played the outfield. I mean, like, as much as, and obviously Cal gets to DH, which Johnny didn't have the opportunity to do, but even Johnny Bench did a lot of that in his career. And by the end, I think he was primarily a third baseman his last year in the league. So, yeah, it's really hard to sustain. There's a lot going on at the position, and it's really tempting to play those guys all the time because you really need them. But getting the most out of Cal in the second half, obviously one of the major keys to success for the Mariners. All right, we'll come back, give you guys everything you need to know. We'll talk through some trade stuff at 8:30, and then a late version of Blue 88 at 8:45. It's Brock and Salk, Seattle Sports on 710.
The clack of the cleats, the sounds of summer drifting off Lake Washington. These sounds of summer are the prelude to the symphony of fall and winter. Football season is coming. Just 7 days until Seahawks training camp begins.
Seattle Sports training camp coverage is presented by the Landing in Renton,
the home of the Seahawks, Seattle Sports.
All right, well, it is definitely summer, right? We're right here in the heat of it all right now. So you're probably pretty busy like I am, driving kids everywhere. They got camps, they got this, they got that. You're trying to take a vacation or a weekend trip or whatever. It's busy. I get it. But that can't be an excuse. Don't let it be. Eastside Weight Loss Clinic can make it so easy for you to lose weight. You're not going to feel like you're adding on one more thing to that busy schedule. Instead, you're going to be subtracting a lot of weight. I did it and lost 35 pounds. Ryan Roland Smith did it, 30 pounds. Listener we just talked to, down 42 pounds. Yeah, summer's perfect. It's a great time to do it. You'll have more energy. You're not going to feel hungry all the time. You eat great food that you buy at the grocery store. It's why Dr. Coogan has had success working with over 4,000 people here in the local area. Schedule your 15 minutes right now at eastsideweightlossclinic.com. That's eastsideweightlossclinic.com. Dr. Ryan Coogan, D.C. Results may vary.
Was drafted in 1999 by the Philadelphia 76ers, and that was just absolutely a dream come true.
Todd's playing in the NBA is unique. His battle with neuropathy is not.
I first started noticing problems a couple of years into my NBA career, and I felt like my sock was just balled up right in the arch of my foot, and there'd be areas of burning and tingling, and then there'd be other areas of deadness where there would be no response to touch. We tried everything possible, from surgery to different drugs, to try and take care of some of the symptoms.
I'm Dr. Mark Shelley, a chiropractic physician and board-certified functional neurologist at Sound Pain Solutions. Our neuropathy treatments can rehabilitate damaged nerves. We use FDA-cleared, non-surgical, non-drug, pain-free procedures that have helped thousands of neuropathy sufferers find relief.
Now I'm able to spend more time doing the things that I enjoy, being on my feet.
If you experience numbness, shooting, or burning pains, or loss of balance, call us. Sound Pain Solutions, 855-996-0025, or click soundpainsolutions.com.
Jaden Schwartz for Techline Roofing. Summer is the perfect time for a new roof. Take advantage of our easy financing, summer specials, and the best warranty in the business. Have a great summer. See you next hockey season. Trust Techline.
Bump letting you know the Employee Pricing Plus event is on at West Hills Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram. Get the 2025 Ram 2500 for $9,000 off MSRP. Subject to credit approval. Offer ends July 31st. West Hills Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram, part of the Hazelwood Auto Group.
It's time. Time for the pro to get everything for the job delivered. Large orders of lumber, doors, windows, paint, plumbing, anything the job needs, all from one partner. Get it today with same-day delivery. Get it tomorrow with next-day delivery on 50,000 plus products. Or get it on your timeline with scheduled delivery on everything from framing to flooring. It's time to get your whole job, all your jobs delivered. Ask about all our new delivery options at the Pro Desk. The Home Depot Pro, it's about time.
There's nothing like when you get that part from eBay and it just fits. Yeah, the first time. So you can do less of this and get right back to more of this. At eBay, you'll find all the parts you need, guaranteed to fit, at prices you'll love. Sounds good, doesn't it? eBay, things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
The home of the Mariners.
Left off to center. It is on its way. Julio, two-run home run.
Hear every pitch on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
Matt Coker here from West Coast Men's Health. Guys, Viagra is not the answer for your problem. I know you think it is, but Viagra has horrible side effects, and for most men, the longer you're on it, the less it works. Viagra is not a curative medication. It's not fixing your problem. It's a Band-Aid for a shark bite. Acoustic wave therapy is the newest technology that can correct your problem, not just treat it. We can do something that no pill can do. We can restore your blood flow naturally. Get off Viagra today. Change your life like the thousands of men who already have, regardless of your age or your medical history. If you're tired of dealing with Peyronie's disease or erectile dysfunction, then call West Coast Men's Health today.
With clinics in Redmond and Tacoma, call 206-519-6541. That's 206-519-6541. 206-519-6541. Online at westcoastmenshealth.com.
Everyone always asks me, what were your top reasons for choosing Advanced Hair? Well, allow me to share, along with some details on, get this, their once-a-year summer savings event. Okay, first off, Advanced Hair stands by the results, and I'm living proof those results are second to none. With Advanced Hair, your own natural hair is guaranteed to grow. Secondly, Advanced Hair combines top-rated physicians with modern technology, creating a concierge quality experience that blew away my expectations. And lastly, Advanced Hair's Advanced FUE begins regrowing your own natural hair the very next day. It is quick, simple, and easy. Now, if you have a flexible schedule this summer and you've been waiting for that special savings opportunity, well, it's here. Advanced Hair's Summer Savings Event will get you the most hair for your dollar. It's their best offer ever. For details to schedule your free consultation, call 425-449-8185. One-day treatment, life-changing results. Your new hair is guaranteed to grow. Before and after pictures at advancedhair.com.
Need to know.
15 minutes past every hour with Brock and Salk.
Here's what you need to know. Up first.
Super fun night of some great baseball. I love seeing all the All-Stars together, and it is the best baseball game. Yes, I loved what they did with the Four Nations this past year in hockey, but the actual hockey All-Star game when they do it, lame. NBA All-Star game, lame. Pro Bowl, lame.
Worse.
Like, they're just bad. This is baseball. There's no other. Angie said it great last week. There's no other way to play baseball. You can't play it any other way. You have to play it hard. You have to play it for real. And I thought those guys, they go.
I mean, they don't slide into second spikes up. I mean, there's some things.
But come on, man, they're playing baseball. It looks like baseball to everyone's eyes, and they try hard and they play hard, and it made for a really great night. And we got to see, Pete Alonso hit a home run, and Corbin Carroll hit a home run, and Brent Rooker hit a home run, and you mentioned earlier the arm from Tatis Jr. and Cal had a nice hit, and seeing Ellie De La Cruz and O'Neal Cruz. Like, there's some really cool, interesting stars in baseball. They were all on display yesterday. And, who was right there among them was Brian Wu.
Wu strikes out.
Yeah, he went with a nice, clean, perfect inning. One strikeout of Acuna Jr. Not bad.
You see Lyle's tweet last night, by the way?
I didn't.
It's just, now that we've gotten to know Lyle.
Rubbed you the wrong way? What happened?
By we, I mean all of us have gotten to know kind of the neurotic side of Lyle Goldstein.
Mm-hmm.
His tweet last night, Corbin Carroll may have a $100 million contract and be a top 10 player in the world, but I viciously rode the bench, paced the dugout for 7 innings, 845 Gatorade chews out of nerve, and beat him in the state title game when he was 15. Like, okay,
He said he
Lyle.
rode the bench to do it. It's pretty funny. I think that's funny. Come on, that's not
it's
neurotic.
funny.
He rode the bench to beat him? Come
and
on.
845 Gatorade chews?
Yeah, because he's on the
Gatorade
bench.
chews
He
up
had
and
to
down
do
the
something.
bench? Yes.
Cecily very torn when he was out there because he went to Seattle Country Day where she went to elementary school. So she's rooting for him.
Sure.
But then there was the Cal fact. Like, there were some things that were, or maybe he was up against Brian Wu or Munoz. Whatever it was very upsetting to her. But she made it through, thankfully.
Here's the second thing you need to know.
Cecily and Lyle cut from the same cloth. All right, so draft in the past. What'd you think of the draft, Brock? You got to be happy.
Dude. Yeah, I think I retweeted or quote tweeted my tweet from 3 weeks ago when that Bulldog was out there throwing 130 pitches and leading LSU to a national title. I'm like, give me that dude. And I heard from a lot of baseball people. Sorry, Steve Sammeyer. Never going to happen. Never going to happen. No way he's going to fall to 3. No way he gets by the Angels. No way.
Hashtag
yada, yada,
clueless?
Yada. Hashtag clueless.
Wow.
I was hashtagged clueless about
clueless.
that take.
It's gotta be rough.
And then all of a sudden, guess who's available at number 3? And as Jeff Passan said to us, wow, what an absolute coup. Absolute coup. Number 1, to have the 3rd pick. You were never deserving of that. That was simply the lottery that fell to you the right way. And then to cash that ticket with that dude who could be in this rotation very realistically next year. What a home run.
Yeah, pretty cool. And then they get a, big dumper redux in the 35 pick, which is cool. It continues to make me wonder about Harry Ford's future in the organization, which I think those days are limited, but we'll see how everything goes here at the deadline. That's going to be the topic of conversation in a few minutes. We'll talk through this deadline and what to do and the idea of trading for pitching. Look, they need another reliever. I mean, the idea of another shutdown reliever on this team is awesome. You really want to give much up for another starter?
Yes.
You do?
Yeah, we can debate that.
Okay,
Find something
I'm
we see
curious about
differently.
that one. All right, good. Well, that's an interesting debate. We'll do that coming up here in about 10 minutes.
Here's the third thing you need to know.
I see the league meetings a little bit differently as well. Adam Silver speaking about the possibility of expansion and the change there in the NBA.
Expansion was discussed both at a committee level and at the board, and ultimately the league office was tasked by our board with doing an in-depth analysis of all the issues around expansion, both economic and non-economic. Of course, the non-economic issues include dilution of talent, how it could potentially affect competition around the league if we were to expand, how you would stock those teams, all those related issues, the economic issues, as I've talked about before. They're as we knew would be the case in these discussions among the board, they're very complex because in how you would potentially value the opportunity has a lot to do with your projections on the future growth of the league.
Okay, three things here, real quickly. Three things. Number one, they've done all this modeling and all this work, and they've been doing that behind the scenes. There's nothing new. It's not all of a sudden you start today at day one of all of this financial modeling. They've been doing all of that. Is it complicated? Yes. More complicating because over the last 6 months, there have been multiple sales that have thrown off, and the Trailblazers are for sale 100%. But to think that all of a sudden now this is starting is total hogwash, number one. Number two, what else is complicating, Salk, and he talked a little bit about this, and I learned a lot about this over the last week or so, is that NBA Europe is a bigger deal to these owners than diluting the pie two more ways. They're talking about a $1 billion deal of a new league called NBA Europe with teams over there where the money can be very, very real for those owners, and they are very, very excited about that. So those are kind of two things that have kind of come to light for me. And then number three, this is the first time in 17 years of listening to these conversations of realizing we actually may be at a bubble. There may be a legitimate concern across these sports that this cannot continue to inflate and inflate and inflate and inflate, that eventually that bubble is going to pop and it's going to burst, and that even the billionaires are concerned about the kind of dollars and cents because it just does not pencil.
Yeah. Well, that part I agree with you on. I agree with you in the first part as well. Yes, obviously they've been doing this. I'm not naive. I don't think they're like, hey, let's discover whether
form a committee.
Right. But also, everyone complaining about him saying that, this is how organizations work. You can't just decide, hey, you know what we should do? Expand. You got to go through the process. You've got to do it all formally. Yeah, the real stuff all gets done behind the scenes, but you can't have anything positive happen unless you do all this. So while it may not be quite on the good news category, it's definitely not in the bad news category. I don't know. It's, to me, even a little bit more than no news. You can't do anything without this happening. So I see it as a positive step. Whether or not it'll ultimately lead to, the end game, we'll wait and see. That's everything you need to know. 1/4 every hour here on the Brock and Salk Show. All right, we'll do a late Blue 88 coming up in 20. Before we do that, look, we're 2 weeks away, man. 2 weeks from tomorrow, we're having our final show before the actual trade deadline, and the Mariners want to be as active as anybody. Is there enough out there for them to buy? We'll discuss next on Brock and Salk.
He called it 20 years ago.
I'm the home run derby champ.
And as he always does, the Big Dumper delivered.
The Big Dumper is your home run derby champion.
Congratulations, Cal Raleigh.
I just can't believe it won. It's unbelievable.
We can't wait for the second half of the season of Cal on Seattle Sports on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
What'd you say? I'm the man. Oh, yeah.
Hey, Mike Salk here. Cool news for a family-owned business here in Western Washington. You know I'm talking Riverside Roofing, because they have once again earned the prestigious GAF Master Elite President's Club. That means they're in the 99th percentile of all roofers in the nation. Yeah, cream of the crop. From Marysville, proudly, they're serving homeowners all over Western Washington, and they are, as you know, the roofing company you can trust. So, good news. What does it mean for you? Well, you're hiring the best of the best. Company receiving high marks in performance, reliability, service as well. They're going to make sure your yard and driveway are totally clear from any debris after that job is finished as well. That's the catch-all system that they have. And they do have the elite warranty to match. Highly reviewed and highly recommended. Riverside Roofing is your go-to local roofing contractor, so book them right now by going to riversideroofingllc.com. Get the roofing company you can trust.
If you want that summer body you've always dreamed of, then this message is for you, ladies, and you men, too. Get rid of extra stubborn fat and address areas of loose skin around the waistline, chin, and under the upper arms with ProSculpt, the new one-day instant permanent fat removal and skin tightening treatment. Maybe you've tried the lasers, fat-freezing methods, even those new pills, but without the desired results. ProSculpt is different. It's minimally invasive, performed while fully awake, gentle, yet powerful. Designed to target the waistline, chin, neck, arms, and thighs, ProSculpt uses FDA-cleared plasma technology to deliver immediate, permanent fat-reducing and skin-tightening results, all in just one visit. If you want that summer body this summer, then you must act now. Go to ProSculpt.com today to schedule your free consultation. Get $250 off. For instant, permanent fat reduction and skin tightening, visit ProSculpt.com.
Hey, it's Mike Rohn. If I have a choice, I like to do business with companies that actually stand for something. That's why I switched from Verizon to Pure Talk. No offense to Verizon, I'm sure they stand for something. I just don't know what it is. Pure Talk, on the other hand, is a veteran-owned company that supports our military in a big way, and I appreciate that. Yeah, I also appreciate unlimited talk and text and plenty of data for half the cost of the big guys, and I do like being on America's most dependable 5G network for just $20 a month, but what I really appreciate is no contract, no cancellation fees, and Pure Talk's commitment to handle all their customer service in this country. I saw it for myself. I went to Georgia, I got a tour of their headquarters, I met their CEO, and I talked to the same customer service folks that you'll talk to when you dial pound 250 and say keyword Mike Rowe. Switch today and save 50% off your first month when you dial pound 250 and say keyword Mike Rowe. Pure Talk, a wireless company that actually stands for something.
You've heard the saying, you never get a second chance to make a first impression. Since 1926, my family's been helping local businesses make great first, second, and long-term impressions. We know how to make your company look good with quality uniforms, logoed apparel, floor mats, linens, and more. If you're paying for linen service or doing it yourself, let's have the conversation. The information and quote are free, but the savings and service can really add up. Visit suplinen.com. Superior Linen Service. It's what we do.
The clack of the cleats. The sounds of summer drifting off Lake Washington. These sounds of summer are the prelude to the symphony of fall and winter. Football season is coming. Just 7 days until Seahawks training camp begins.
Seattle Sports training camp coverage is presented by the Landing in Renton,
the home of the Seahawks, Seattle Sports.
If it's game day or any day, Toyota of Kirkland and Toyota of Renton are your MVPs for trucks and SUVs. Experience the power of choice with the Tundra at 1.99% APR for 72 months. The Tacoma leasing at $299 a month. The all-electric BZ4X with 0% APR and the RAV4 leasing at just $319 a month. Find that all-star lineup at toyotaofkirkland.com and toyotaofrenton.com. Offers valid through August 4th, 2025. Excludes taxes, license, and negotiable $200 dealer documentation fee. See dealership for details.
You're free now. Free to stream beyond your wildest dreams.
Rom-coms, slasher-coms, space operas.
Free to fill your feed with impossibly chonky chonkers.
Cats, corgis, babies on demand.
Free to make your smart devices do silly things.
Bowl of chips on the Robo-Vacuum.
Free to open a world of remote work and Gametopia.
Who's the boss now?
Free to be everything you imagine. That's how it feels to have Quantum Fiber Internet. Your world unleashed. Learn more at quantumfiber.com.
Limited availability, service in select locations only.
Hey, Brock Ewart here with some great news. I'm with Shannon O'Kelly, physical therapist and owner of IRG Physical and Hand Therapy. Shannon, you guys just increased your community coverage.
That's right, Brock. We like to say we're in your neighborhood. We have you covered here at IRG. We just added 2 fantastic locations. One is in Harbor Square in the Edmonds Bowl, and the other one is in the Mill Creek Town Center, right to the entrance to Mill Creek Town Center. So we'll be able to provide fantastic care to all of us and everybody's neighborhood.
You know I love it. Expert physical and hand therapy right in your neighborhood.
That's right. We're in your neighborhood. We want to be your neighborhood family physical therapist. We'll take care of you, your family, and your neighbor.
And remember, no referral needed, just personalized care when and where you need it. Visit irgpt.com and schedule your appointment today. With over 40 convenient locations, IRG is right in your neighborhood, and now 2 new spots as well. That's irgpt.com, irgpt.com.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Brock and Salk.
Weekdays 6 to 10
on Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
All right, late version of Blue 88 here in 15 minutes, but that gives us some time, Brock, to talk about the trade deadline. We are 15 days away from all rosters, well, not being set, but you can't bring in anybody else via trade after that. And so this is it. This is your chance, Mariners, to add to what you've got. It's not a perfect trade deadline, and I think the criticisms I've read of people saying, yeah, you didn't do enough in the offseason, you bet on it being, waiting to the trade deadline, and then you run into the same problem every year where so many teams think they're in it that not everybody wants to trade. I think those are very fair criticisms, 100%. But it's not over yet, right? You still have here another 2 weeks, and Arizona, by all accounts, is getting much closer to understanding they at least need to sell on their rental players, specifically their corner infielders, Gino Suarez and Josh Naylor, probably on Merrill Kelly and Zach Gallen as well. So, yeah, I mean that's or not Merrill Kelly. I'm sorry, Merrill Kelly. Sorry, I'm trying to confuse my names here, but you got 4 guys there that they would want to sell on. I'm not done looking at Minnesota, Brock, because I think that the relievers they have are worth giving up a lot for because of how they can change the game. I mean, we talk a lot about what it's like having Brash and Munoz and even Spire at the end of the games. But you remember what it was a few years ago when you had Munoz and Seawald. And then you could go to Brash in the 6th inning in a big spot. That luxury is enormously important, especially as you get into the big games you'll play late in the year.
Yeah, I think there's nobody that we're going to talk to. There's no one that says, "Oh, you're fine in the bullpen." Everybody understands that, and that's probably the easiest commodity because there's the most market for that. Every team
It's the
carries.
easiest commodity to get a guy who's got 2 months left, to get your Jimmy Garcia from last year. That's fairly easy. You can always go get a Jimmy Garcia, and the Nats have that, and the Pirates have that. Those guys are out there, and you have them for a couple of months. The question is, can you get a Griffin Jacks? Can you get a Duran? Right, somebody who comes in and is top tier for not just this year, but for the next 2 years.
Well, I'm sure
and then you give something up for that.
Yeah, the answer to that is yes, but then you're starting to peck away at your supply of all of the prospects that you're willing to give. Are you willing to give Harry Ford in that kind of move and then not have him available for your other needs, for your Naylor and for your Suarez? And this is where all the checks and the balances start to come into play. I will say this with 2 weeks to go, you got to know about Bryce Miller here real soon. Because I think I do, if you want to fire off that Jason Churchill sound, and it sounds like he and Shannon were on the same page that, hey, let's not Logan Evans is going to be on an inning restriction. He's done some amazing stuff. He's filled in very admirably, but he's going to be on some inning restriction here and already thrown a ton of innings. We've seen maybe Emerson Hancock. We've seen the good. We've seen the bad. I think he's very matchup dependent. I think he's very location dependent on where he's pitching and what venue he's pitching in. So is Churchill kind of bounced
and they even
around?
pointed out, hey, it's Logan Gilbert too. I mean, we've yet to see the Logan Gilbert everyone expected to see. Hey, we know he's going to win today, I think is the way Shannon phrased it. It's a win day. Logan Gilbert's on the mound. And it just hasn't been that this year. Here was Jason Churchill yesterday.
The foundation of this baseball team is that rotation. They have not performed up to par, and for a reason. Bryce Miller's obviously hurt. Logan Gilbert went through his thing, but there have been some inconsistencies there. Gilbert, since he's been back, Kirby a little bit up and down. Castillo, this year hasn't been clean and sharp, and there's a little bit of decline going on there, at least statistically. And obviously that 5th spot with Miller out, they're not getting the performance they've been getting in the past. To me, that's the biggest difference, because the offense is a little better. It certainly is a little better, and it's not just Cal Raleigh. Julio better the first 3-4 months of the season than he was a year ago. Randy Rosarina, obviously, wasn't even on a team last year until August. To me, it's this balance of mediocrity, rotation, lineup, bullpen, and it's probably all three of those spots they have to consider making some moves, at the deadline.
So how do you prioritize it, Salk? Because you can't do it all. This is like Seahawk free agency.
I mean, you
this
can
is
do it
like
all.
A relief pitcher, a starting pitcher, a first baseman, a third baseman. So you'd empty the tank?
Well, I'm not saying that. I mean, you could get one bat and two pitchers. You could get two bats and one pitcher. I mean, you can get three guys. Like, I don't think that's out of the question at all.
So
I mean,
prioritize it. You starting with a relief pitcher?
Maybe. Yeah. It depends, right? I mean, like, that's what makes this so complicated. I'm prioritizing the relief pitcher if that's a guy that's going to be here for a few years and if he's truly elite. Otherwise, if you can't get that, I'm just looking for an upgrade on Casey Legumina. I mean, like, it kind of depends on what's out there and what's available. So there is no just like, I have to come away from it with this. The market is so fluid to me. But yeah, reliever would be right up there. And if that's a possibility, I would rather have Griffin Jacks for 2.5 years than Gino Suarez for 2 months.
Okay.
So yes, in that regard, I think that's how I would view it. I think Jason and
would you expend more resources? Okay, and again, hypothetical, and all these things are a bit, as you said, fluid. It's not this clear and this black and white. But would you expend, if the deals that are on the table are like, okay, here's kind of my premium blue chippers, call that Harry Ford, call that Felnine Celestine, call that Lasmont, call that your blue chippers. Would you rather expend your blue chippers on a Seth Lugo, Merrill Kelly, or on Josh Naylor or a Eugenio Suarez on a rental piece?
I'd rather have
starting pitcher.
For a rental. I'd rather have the hitter. I'm going to bet on the fact that Logan Gilbert is going to be better, and if he's not, then I'm not really the Mariners, and I don't think that any of those guys are real Logan Gilbert like replacements. No. So I think with an improved lineup, by the way, the lineup's already been pretty good, and a real Logan Gilbert, hey, whatever happens with that fifth starter thing is fine. That's only for a couple of months, and once you get into the playoffs, you're not using it anyway.
Yeah,
so no,
I'd rather. What's so beautiful and complicating about this is just when you kind of feel like, kind of saying we really need some help. Then they go out, in that series in Detroit.
Yeah, I don't know.
And you say, wow, man, Luke Raley. No, I understand that, but the last 2-3 weeks with Luke Raley, Luke Raley makes a difference for this team.
Yeah.
Cole Young looks like he's kind of starting to find a little bit of this game's not too big for him. Dom Camzone is now not put together a nice series. He's put together a nice month of baseball.
I'm assuming you're going to talk about your favorite target, Randy Arozarena, hitting 9 home runs in 13 days.
Unbelievable month where he shows you once again he can carry this team. Oh, by the way, Julio Rodriguez, once he made the decision to not go to the All-Star game, decided to hit 3 home runs in 3 days in Detroit and hit a changeup that nobody else has hit out of the yard against Tark Skubal this year. So that's what also is kind of complicating to all of these discussions. It's just when you're like, I feel good about this. Yeah, are you sure? Are you sure that is a priority? And again, let's say Logan Gilbert. What do they know behind the scenes with where he's really at and how he really feels? That bone spur in Bryce Miller's elbow, has it really calmed down? What have his bullpens look like? How does he really feel? Can you project him to give you 5, 10, 12 starts here in the second half in the final 70 games?
I mean, it's just all of that is fine, but first and third are still major possibilities for upgrade. It's specifically third base. I love Ben Williamson. I'm psyched about what he's done. Maybe there's a long-term role. He's got an OPS of 600. I mean, like, if you can go get Gino Suarez or you can go get, I mean, honestly, even Willie Castro, like, those guys are they're going to be better, right? I mean, and especially Gino, you're not sacrificing much on the defensive side. You're not blocking anybody long term. Like, I don't know any reason. What you're getting in the clubhouse. Like, there's no downside to trading for Gino Suarez at all. Yep. It just flat out makes you better and makes you deeper, and you don't need to count on him as, the 3 hitter in your lineup. In this lineup, the way things are going now, he could hit 7th. I mean, and still just provide serious pop at the bottom of the order. So I don't know. That to me is still the biggest need. Reliever's an obvious one, and that's more of strengthening your strength. First base or right field or whatever you could do there is bonus. and then you come back to the starting pitcher. Yeah, all right, look. If there's a guy who can provide a slight upgrade over, the two guys who were in the fifth starter spot, yeah, all right. If
Tyler Anderson?
Huh?
Tyler Anderson, our little lefty?
That type of a player, sure. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, you talk about Merrill Kelly, who's, had a pretty good year. Zach Gallen has not.
Nope.
Right? I mean, maybe it's closer to a Zach Gallen, right? If you're just dealing with Arizona and you want to go 2 for 1 or something like that. I don't want to spend a lot of resources on something that honestly I think is if Logan Gilbert can't fix it, then you're not really that team. And I don't think Merrill Kelly is going to step in and be what you thought you would have with Logan Gilbert, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I would tend to agree with that. And by the way, also now throw in Cade Anderson into this mix into next year's rotation.
Right, exactly. I'm just not looking to add more and more to the rotation. Yeah. I just don't. It's just,
man, it is a beautifully intricate conversation.
Yeah,
it really is. And behind the scenes, I can only imagine all of the different machinations. And these are just kind of the tip of the iceberg. What about conversations they're having with Tampa, who has been a consistent trade partner, where you try to find kind of a win-win.
And Fairbanks could be, their big reliever. Fairbanks could be available. You've talked about Yandy Diaz forever. I mean, there's a bunch of different ways you can do that. The one thing I will come back to is, there are very few players in the organization that I would deem untouchable. There are only guys that would be available in certain types of deals, but no one's untouchable. And I'm going to keep coming back to Harry Ford because, I read this text. Salk, if they trade Ford, I'm okay because barring injury, he's not going to be in the majors this year. But wouldn't it make more sense to keep him in AAA and then have him as Cal's backup and learn more from Cal next year when Garver most likely isn't returning? No. I just don't think so. Harry Ford's not going to be a backup catcher, and the Mariners don't need him to catch every day. Is there a scenario where they could make it work and Cal DHs? Of course there is. I'm not saying it can't work.
But for the talent and the return on investment.
Exactly. Why not get as much as you could possibly get back to, help you right now when you are in a down, mediocre, lousy AL that just doesn't have a dominant team, and you said Detroit's the best team in this league. You just beat the living hell out of them for 3 days and made them look stupid. If you can add to this team, you're only 5 games out in the West. You're in the wild card. That to me is a lot more value than playing Harry Ford as a backup catcher down the road, especially when you just drafted a guy who was a year younger than him a few days ago. Yep. Yeah, I'm pretty sold on trading Harry Ford at the deadline. And, there's no one else that would be totally sacred to me either. In the right deal. You're not trading Colt Emerson for a rental, obviously. But, they got an opportunity, and to be creative, you've got to be willing to give up stuff. I think that's actually been one of Jerry and Justin's best trades.
Yep. Well, off the field, Cal Raleigh, absolute home run. Off the field, the draft, an absolute home run. Let's hope here in 2 weeks and a day that the trade deadline, we can say on August 1st, added to it is the third part of an absolute.
They've been pretty good at it recently, right? I mean, it was 3 years ago they added Luis Castillo. It was last year they added Randy Arozarena plus Turner and Jimmy Garcia. They've done pretty well at the deadline the last couple of years. This would be a big one, certainly, with an opportunity to make the playoffs sitting right there in front of them. Let's do some Blue 88s.
This is Brock and Salk's Blue 88.
Blue 88! Blue 88!
We take you to the field as Brock Ewart breaks down 3 football questions as only he can.
Now here's your hosts, Brock Ewart and Mike Salk.
Hey, were you following all of the ESPN lists while you were gone? Top 10 lists? Did you see the quarterback?
I saw some headlines, saw that Ernest received some votes.
Yeah, he was number 31 on the linebacker list. But I think that's interesting that 31 different linebackers got votes. Kind of a weird position, right? You see the quarterback list?
Sam didn't receive votes.
No, neither did Gino.
Oh, Gino didn't receive votes.
Nope.
Thought he was top 10 now.
Neither one of them received votes.
Thought he was top 10.
No,
okay.
Neither one received votes. Thought you would find that interesting. Vegas also putting out their odds for quarterback production. What'd you learn about Sam Darnold?
Good news? You want good news or bad news?
I want both. I want the truth, Brock. I think I'm entitled to it.
Okay, I'll give you the truth. And I think you can handle the truth.
Okay.
Unlike some. Sam Darnold. This was all the quarterbacks or guys in Vegas kind of put out some prop bets and some projection numbers, some over-unders. Good news, 3,450 yards.
Okay.
Going to have some volume passing, even in this run-first kind of offense. That's a good news. Bad news?
Yeah.
13 and a half interceptions.
That's a lot
Which was
of
the
it.
highest
Yeah.
number of anybody on the board, tied with your buddy Baker Mayfield.
Top 10 quarterback, by the way.
Problem with Baker Mayfield is his touchdowns, 30 and a half.
Yeah.
Now remember, Sam threw 35 touchdowns last year. A lot of talent around him out there. Some of the best players in the game at receiver and tight end and everything else. But he did throw 35 touchdowns last year. And Baker, we know, throws a lot of touchdowns. He throws a lot of picks. The problem, Baker's projected to throw 31 touchdowns, so those 13 and a half. And this is the one that is just not a tenable number. Sam Darnold cannot throw 20 touchdowns in this team, be a playoff team. So certainly, if he
20 to
throws
13 would be a tough ratio.
That can't happen.
That's not sustainable. How about
I think I could say very definitively for the Seahawks to win the NFC West, that's got to be a 2-1, and hopefully a 2.5-1 kind of touchdown to interception ratio. Vegas, like many of these national pundits, not buying it for Sam Darnold from a production of touchdowns to interceptions in 2025.
All right, question number 2. Second round picks, Brock, still not signed after the first 2 as they are looking for guaranteed money, and rookies are starting to report to camps. Who's got the most leverage, the players or the teams?
I think ultimately the teams do, especially for second round picks, Salk. But as I've said before, Cleveland screwed it all up with Sean, and Cleveland once again screws it up. So guaranteed money, that's what all this comes down to, right? These 4-year deals. Cleveland decided with their linebacker, who I liked out of UCLA, to just say, okay, in 2023, the 33rd pick in the draft, Salk, got 33%. Or, excuse me, 93% of his contract guaranteed. In 2024, it was 95%. This year, they just said, what the hell, 100%, all guaranteed. The 34th pick, that was the Houston Texans. They actually jumped the shark. They actually did it before Cleveland did. So Cleveland really had no chance in this with the receiver. They, you could probably point to Houston to be more frustrated there if you're the team and you want your guy in place, because in 23 it was 91%, in 24 it was 91%, and Houston decided, 100%, go ahead, the whole thing. So now it comes to Nicky Manwari, the 35th pick in the draft. Conversations that the capologist with the Hawks and his agent are having, and you know what his agent's saying? Hey man, the 2 other teams in front of us, 100%, 100%. And you know what the Seahawks are saying? They're idiots. Sorry, we're not going to do that. That's not the way we do business. Never been the way we do business. We don't do business based on what, our peers are doing. We do business on what's in the best interest. And it's been that way for 16 years for us. And we've been pretty darn good for 16 years. So the 35th pick, you ask, in 2023, 82% of his contract guaranteed. Last year, 88%. So what's a reasonable number? 90%? I think reasonable is probably 90% or 91%. We will give you what the 34th pick got last year.
Right.
We'll guarantee 91%. Nope. No, we want 100. We want all of it.
Bill Barnwell was on yesterday with Bump and Stacy. Here's what he said about it.
At the end of the day, it just seems so stupid to me. I mean, these are guys who, they're already on bargain deals relative to what veterans make. I know they don't all hit, but the ones who do hit are such bargains that it's worth it. I mean, NFL teams pay millions of dollars when they get an opportunity to trade basically for a second, third, fourth round pick as part of a salary dump. Clearly, they see it as being significantly valuable. Guaranteeing a little bit more money to get your guy in camp seems like a really logical and simple thing to me, but certainly it feels like there's maybe outside factors impacting that.
And by the way, the 60th pick, Arroyo's down there. You know what those guys have gotten the last 2 years? 53% of their contract guaranteed. Here's the challenge, and Bill Barnwell's the numbers guy. This would be the thing I'd say back to Bill. Well, hold on a second, Bill. You're guaranteeing all that money. What are the numbers? And they have these back to 20, 21, and 22, obviously, because of the 4 years on these contracts, Salk. What is the percentage of second-round picks that played all 4 years of that contract out of the 2022 class? And by the way, the 22 class, the highest, 21 and 22, the exact same number.
60%?
75%.
That's pretty good.
I mean, it's still a high number, but that's a quarter of the second-round picks never get to the fourth year. So why do I want to guarantee all that money the teams are going to say?
Because you want them in camp right now. You want to start moving on.
And you would say to the player, like, hey, man, you know what you want? Be great for 3 years, and we'll rip up this deal like we've done in the past and find yourself in camp. It will be
It's weird that the teams and the unions and everybody hasn't gotten along.
Everybody's fine.
Very strange. Question number 3. I know you were around some Pete Carroll folk, people who know Pete this weekend. Did you learn anything about Pete's last year?
This was really fun, both from people that know him very well and people that just are around him, and some USC folks. That class he taught was an absolute bona fide home run.
Mm-hmm.
And it got a lot of short shrift. I don't think it got the attention that it deserved. In talking to the people in one couple in particular whose son got into that class. First and foremost, it was a lottery. There were so many students that wanted to be a part of that, so there was a lottery. Those that were in it said it was their favorite class, this student in particular, that he had at USC. And Pete did an unbelievable job, as he did in team meetings, of bringing other people in, right, of bringing other folks in. They would go to the Coliseum, Salk. They would compete and do tug-of-war competitions, right? He had the basketball hoop in the class, right? It was just Pete's and the spirit. It was a 3-hour class once a week. This was not just cashing it in and, you know what, I'll just kind of show up. Pete was all in, and by the end of it, in the final class, there were a lot of folks trying to sneak in. They had to have security to be like, yeah, sorry, you're not in this class. That's
awesome.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
And speaks to just... Yeah, Pete didn't go halfway. He never goes halfway on anything.
Not who he
Those
is.
students absolutely love it. The faculty there on staff loved it.
Cool.
And really challenging these students to find their identity, to find what he found when he got fired, right? And he had to figure out exactly what makes him tick and really believe it to the core.
Mm-hmm.
That was a challenge to the students, and it was a bona fide, absolute grand salami.
Cool story. All right, there you go. That is today's Blue 88, a late version. Sorry about that, but Jeff Passan had to move some things around. So if you missed Jeff, you can find that on the podcast or on YouTube, or actually tomorrow morning at 6:30. We'll replay that as well. So sorry about that. Jeff had to move some things around last minute. Tomorrow we'll have, here's the thing. I know more. Well, I get, like, hopefully Lyle knows how to do that. I don't know. I don't know how to do it. Hopefully more
Is Lyle back tomorrow?
Lyle's back tomorrow. Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe Lyle, but he's like the only one here. So I don't know. You can leave stuff for here's the thing.
Know how to do it?
No, I don't
Brady
think so.
know how to go into the app and
I don't think
look
so.
at all and listen to all the
Do you know how to do that? Do you know how to do here's the thing, Brady?
I do not. I've also never been asked to do it before.
Yeah. All right. Well, I don't know how to do it, so I don't know how to tell you how to do it.
Well, you ask Brady to do something, he's going to figure out a way.
Well, sure. I just don't know whether we should ask him to do it or not. But leave messages. Go download the app, and we'll figure it out. If it's not this week, it'll
Here's
be
the
next
thing
week.
seems new to me too.
It is, Charles. Yep. It's a newer thing that Morris started doing. So yeah, we'll see what goes on there. I don't know what to tell you.
Joe Buck 8:30 tomorrow for sure, though.
Okay, and I think we're going to do Answer the Question Jerk today. We'll do that about 9:45 today because we didn't get to that yesterday, Brock. I didn't want to do it without you, so we'll do a little Answer the Question Jerk at 9:45. I want to do now. You want to talk about the NBA expansion more? You want to talk about what's going on here?
Either next or at 9:30.
Let's do it next, and then I want to come back, talk some Mariners at 9:30. I want to just talk about this up and down team and Julio and kind of what we've seen over the last few weeks. But before we do it, there was big news yesterday out of Las Vegas where Adam Silver spoke. What did he say? What does it really mean? We'll kind of try to figure that out together next on Brock and Salk.
The clack of the cleats, the sounds of summer drifting off Lake Washington. These sounds of summer are the prelude to the symphony of fall and winter. Football season is coming. Just 7 days until Seahawks training camp begins.
Seattle Sports training camp coverage is presented by the Landing in Renton.
The home of the Seahawks, Seattle Sports.
Are you trying to buy a new home, or are you a local real estate agent seeking financing for a client? We're all tired of dealing with banks, credit unions, and endless guidelines. Wouldn't it be nice to go back in time when we had common sense lending? Hi, I'm Scott Rireka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital based in Bellevue. We are one of the largest local private portfolio lenders in Washington. We've helped thousands of home buyers and real estate investors reach their financial goals by leveraging the Legacy Common Sense borrowing platform. What that means is we lend our own money, we make our own decisions. If your deal makes sense, we'll get it done. Whether you're purchasing a new piece of real estate or refinancing an existing loan, bridge loans, construction, or regular home loan, it doesn't have to be as difficult as banks and lenders make it. If you're trying to grow wealth through real estate acquisition, come talk to the experts in private lending.
Call 425-635-4700 or LegacyG.com. Legacy Group Capital, your common sense lender. LegacyG.com.
Walking away from an interaction with a customer that says, I can't believe how easy this was. I can't thank you enough for helping me.
Our strategy with pricing is not to be the highest price and not to be the lowest price, but to be a really good price and to provide a really good experience to the customer.
Yeah, I have a ton of really memorable customers. Afterwards, to thank us, he sent us this beautiful basket of candies and fruits and stuff. It was just really sweet. It felt like we were truly helping.
Receiving a handwritten letter that's personalized to a salesperson or service advisor or a technician expressing gratitude, and then taking that home and sharing that with your family and hanging that on your refrigerator, that's the difference.
You hear it from one person, and then another. And another. You come to realize it's not a script, it's a belief. The LJ Way is the Lee Johnson Auto family.
Need a new roof but not in the budget? A new roof doesn't have to break the bank. Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors here. Right now, State Roofing and Exteriors is offering 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for up to 24 months. That's 2 years with no payments while getting the protection your home deserves. But this offer won't last forever. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com today to get on our summer schedule now. State Roofing and Exteriors, held to a higher standard since 1968.
Hi, this is Nancy Penrose, owner of Big Trees in Snohomish. Big Trees has certified arborists and site experts who help you select the right trees for the right location on your property. When Big Trees installs a tree, we offer a 1-year warranty and 1 free aftercare visit from a board-certified master arborist. To learn more about our process, visit BigTreeSupply.com.
Swing and a miss. Strike 3. That is strikeout number 7 for Brian Wu.
Home. Home is where you get to cook things up just the way you like.
Swing and a miss.
Where you're never afraid to get in the kitchen.
He got him. A huge strikeout from Logan Gilbert in 7th tonight.
Where you serve. Carve. Put some extra mustard on it.
There's the fist pump by Luis Castillo. Strikeout number 10 on the night.
And get a little spicy.
Set a heater at 100. Back-to-back strikeouts for Andres Munoz.
Now you're cooking with gas. Mariners baseball at T-Mobile Park. Welcome home.
The Mariners return from the All-Star break at the end of the week with an AL West showdown against the Astros. Don't miss your chance to catch Cal and the crew square off against their division rivals Friday through Sunday at T-Mobile Park. Then it's 3 straight Mariners value games versus the Brewers, July 21st to 23rd. Get your tickets at mariners.com.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with AutoPay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just 1 cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here.
Based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025. Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 a monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
The countdown is on.
Just 7 days until Seahawks training camp.
On the home of the Seahawks, Seattle Sports. 710 KIRO AM Seattle and KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma.
Get in the freaking auto!
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Brock and Salk on Seattle Sports.
Brock Heward and Matt Marcus. Sorry about just Mike.
Heward, not exactly Joe Cap there in the pocket.
Now here are your hosts, Brock Heward and Mike Salk.
All right, final hour of this morning's version of the Brock and Salk Show. Tomorrow we'll have Joe Buck with us. God, you know what? It's so funny. I still expected to hear Joe Buck last night calling that game.
I know.
Like, it took me a moment to remember, like, oh, wait, that's not Joe Buck. And it's not Joe Davis does a really good job. I like Joe. But I don't know. I miss Joe Buck. I could, like most people, I could not stand Joe Buck early in his career. And I really came to enjoy how he called baseball games. And still does a great job on football, but I really I've come to miss him calling baseball games. I really liked him. So excited to talk to him tomorrow at, 8:30? Mm-hmm. So that should be pretty cool. Looking forward to that. The news today includes what's going on in Vegas as the NBA had their league meetings. And I know there had been some question as to whether or not they might even announce, expansion right now. That doesn't really feel like the process of a real organization like the NBA, where everything has to be studied and official channels. And have you followed any of this back and forth with Bill Simmons and David Aldridge at all? Mm-hmm. Where Bill Simmons has been saying that James Dolan, the owner of the Knicks and kind of noted crazy person, is, really against expansion. Mm-hmm. Just really does not want to mess with a successful business model. And not only has he been against it, but that he is, trying to build a coalition, and that he's built enough of a coalition that, there's starting to be some movement in that direction against expansion.
That is real, by the way.
Oh, I'm sure it is. And then David Aldridge was like, I'm not listening to what some podcaster says. And Bill's yeah, I'm pretty well connected in the NBA. I don't know what you're talking. Like, I'm not just a podcaster. Thanks. And so anyway, there's been this whole back and forth that I was reading about yesterday. Yeah. Regardless, I think that this is not a negative step. I think this is more positive than it is negative. But obviously, there's no way to spin this as, all right, this is now happening.
Okay, so the timing of this trip that I was on was unbelievably fortuitous with this topic in particular. Mm-hmm. And I had no idea how ideal the timing would be, as I got to be around people that are truly,
in the know.
Yes, and I'm not going to mention any names or anything, but honestly, I was flying back and I was listening to Adam Silver, and it was late. Golly.
You want me to play the sound real quick so people hear it, what Adam Silver had to say?
That's commissioner of the NBA.
Yes, here he is.
Expansion was discussed both at a committee level and at the board, and ultimately the league office was tasked by our board with doing an in-depth analysis of all the issues around expansion, both economic and non-economic. Of course, the non-economic issues include dilution of talent, how it could potentially affect competition around the league if we were to expand, how you would stock those teams, all those related issues, the economic issues, as I've talked about before. They're as we knew would be the case in these discussions among the board, they're very complex because in how you would potentially value the opportunity has a lot to do with your projections on the future growth of the league.
Yeah. So here's, I think, the challenge for Detlef Schrempf, who I saw tweeting about this. Here's why Tim Booth, Chris Daniels, local guys were down there at this. Here's why folks, that are close to it thought there may be some significant news, because last fall, Salk, Silver said the same thing. We're studying it. We're looking at it. He's even hinted at Vegas and Seattle, right? They do so much already in Vegas, all the summer league, and he went into that aspect of it. Seattle has been a known, the arena's in place. Obviously, Bonderman was in the estate, so connected, and his daughter now that's, the possible future owner and all of that. So they've been doing it. He said that last fall, and then he said it in the spring again. So it's been the fall, it's the spring, and now we're in late July. Like, okay, at every turn you've been studying this. So the takeaways are three, and I said these quickly earlier. I'll dive into them a little deeper. Number one, they've been working on this for some time, and what they cannot figure out, and what the James Dolans and our buddy down with the Clippers and others are saying is, like, I do not want to divide this pie two more ways. I'm already slicing it 30 ways, and it's a good deal for us. It's a lot of money with the new TV media deal, and you've got to tell me and prove to me that there's going to be more revenue coming in if we slice this 2 more ways, and that somebody's willing to pay billions and billions and billions and billions in expansion fee to somehow line our wallets enough to slice this pie now 32 ways instead of 30. And that there are a bunch of owners also on top of that, Salk, like a New York City co-op that didn't want Livy Dunn living there, that also look at it and go, I don't want 2 more knuckleheads. Like, we've seen complicated owners in this league. Dolan is a complicated owner. So do we want to, and do we trust who's going to come in is somebody that we really want in our co-op? So that's number 1. Number 2,
on the other side of that, though, just to kind of jump in there, it's not just that they have to slice it 2 more ways. It's also that they get, let's call it $260 million a piece right off the bat. Like that expansion. Let's say you bring in 2 teams and it's $4 billion a piece. Just quick math. That's $133+ billion a piece, or $133+ million a piece. Excuse me.
Sure.
So right off the bat, you would get 200.
Is that good enough in 2 and 3 and 4 years versus if we don't slice that and that $7 billion TV deal that's that's helping pay for our facilities?
$260 million that you can invest in things. I mean, you can get return on that investment as well. So I mean, I think it's a little more complicated than just saying, well, we have to split it 2 more ways.
That's number 1. And that financial model is complicated by all of the different sales. And I'll get to that in a second. Number 2 is NBA Europe feels like a higher priority than expansion.
Yep.
And why would NBA Europe be a higher priority than expanding your own league in your country? Because, again, of revenue, of unbelievable revenue that would come to these owners. So, Salk, when they look at, that's nice with an expansion fee, but this NBA Europe model and what these folks in Europe are willing to pay and partner with us, far greater than some of these expansion fees when they just run those models. So NBA Europe, a big deal.
Can I play you a little sound to go with that, Brock? Because let's go back. You remember the interview we did with June Lee a couple of weeks ago, who was talking about private equity coming into the various leagues? Do you remember what he said about leagues trying to make more money and looking for new revenue sources?
The NFL is obviously the most popular sport in the United States, but Major League Baseball and the NBA might be better positioned for this kind of global growth of sports because the games are simpler, the rules aren't as complicated, and there's already kind of basketball culture that the NBA has invested in for, going on 2 decades now, dating back to the establishment of NBA Africa, and obviously Asia with Japan and Korea, now Taiwan. They have established baseball cultures. And so there's already kind of an appetite for this kind of stuff. And so I think over the course of the next 2 decades, you're going to start seeing more private equity money coming in. This is all kind of a downstream of the ownership mentality towards continued growth of wanting to make the valuations of these franchises bigger, even if they're not making as much money on a year-to-year basis. And a lot of owners are trying to find the balance between those two things.
And by the way, where's Giannis from? Where's Jokic from? Where's Wemby from? Europe is producing great players. So the opportunity in the revenue for that is off the charts. And then lastly, and I said this earlier, for the first time in 17 years, Salk, I think, I'm not going to hear owners cry poor, but that these numbers, when you start to look at the cost of this versus the revenue in return, start to not pencil. And the fear of a bubble being burst. And I asked somebody in the know, I'm not a bright man, but should I look at Mark Cuban? Should I look at Bonderman in Boston? Should I look at the estate of Paul Allen?
Not Boston, but the Boston ownership, yes.
The Boston ownership group, of
Wick
which
Grossbeck,
he was.
Yeah.
Yes. The estate of Paul Allen. Should I look at some of these? And Jeannie Buss and the Buss family in LA. Should I look at some of these and think these are pretty brilliant billionaires who have had to gauge market conditions in their life? And every one of them's a little different, and it's not a perfect, but all of those, is that just a coincidence, or is it a lot of really bright billionaires going, yep, maybe now is the time to make this move?
Yes, but you're also looking at Stan Kroenke buying more, and you're looking at the Walton family getting more involved with the Broncos, and you're looking at Mark Walter in LA buying the Lake. I mean, the
Lakers brand.
It's so I think it's a little of both of those
things. That's not one. Right? That's not two. That's not three. That's four. That's five. There's
no doubt that is all worth looking at.
A lot.
Also, owners crying poor is like, this isn't the first time I've heard that from them. Like, find me an owner that doesn't say they're going broke.
This isn't crying poor, but this is timing the bubble. And if you know markets and what our history has shown with things, this will never burst. This is just going to go to infinity.
Right, that doesn't work.
That doesn't work.
That doesn't work at all.
It tends to not work.
So your takeaway when it's all said and done is?
This is not a slam dunk by any means. And you and I have talked about this is coming. They've already got NBA future locker room in a locker room that is built in that arena. There is nobody better placed and better ready and move-in ready with great ownership opportunity than here in Seattle.
Right.
But the rest of the owners are complicating this thing, as are the market.
Yeah, they're not going to expand anywhere else. You're not. There's no risk of like the NBA decides they'd rather go to Kansas City.
No.
But whether or not, they just ever want to do this because of the way the finances work, I think are all very real questions. All right. We'll come back here with everything you need to know and play you a little bit more sound from Adam Silver. And then we'll do some Answer the Question Jerk at 9:45. So fun stuff. If you want to ask a question, you can do it now. 866-979-3776 is the text line. We'll be right back on Brock and Salk.
The clack of the cleats, the sounds of summer drifting off Lake Washington. These sounds of summer are the prelude to the symphony of fall and winter. Football season is coming. Just 7 days until Seahawks training camp begins.
Seattle Sports training camp coverage is presented by the Landing in Renton.
The home of the Seahawks, Seattle Sports.
Hey, everybody, it's Bob Stelton here. Let me tell you about one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life. That's when I went to K2 Vision for refractive lens exchange. Now, if you're somebody like me who struggled with distance vision, maybe you always need a pair of reading glasses, K2 Vision RLE could be your perfect permanent solution like it was for me. And here's the cherry on top. You'll never develop a cataract. K2 Vision RLE is quick, painless, and I am seeing great now without glasses or readers. I can actually read restaurant menus. I can read the receipts when they show up. I can read texts on my phone. It's amazing. RLE is an absolute game changer. I'm so excited to spend my good active years not needing reading glasses. K2 Vision RLE gave me great vision that's permanent. The doctors at K2 Vision have performed over 150,000 lens procedures, so they know when RLE is right for you. Schedule your free Zoom consultation today at K2VisionRLE.com. K2 Vision RLE, no readers, glasses, contacts, or cataracts. K2VisionRLE.com.
Riverside Roofing has earned GAF Master Elite President's Club certification, which puts them in the 99.9th percentile of all roofers nationally. They're right here out of Marysville. You can find them at riversideroofingllc.com, and they are the roofing company you can trust.
I'm here letting you know the Ford Summer Sales event is happening now at West Hills Ford, where you can get the 2024 F-150 Super Crew 4-wheel drive at $14,982 off MSRP on approved credit. West Hills Ford, part of the Hazelwood Auto Group.
History, it had the gold rush. Then came the oil boom, the tech boom, but right now it's the Wi-Fi boom, and Xfinity Wi-Fi is booming. Xfinity has everything you need to tap into the Wi-Fi boom with seriously powerful and seriously reliable connection. It's got 99.99% network reliability and incredibly low lag, so your streams are smoother than making a decision on what to stream. And did I mention that you can even connect to hundreds of devices so you, your kids, your parents, your poker group, and whoever else is at home can all experience the Wi-Fi boom with Xfinity. And the Wi-Fi isn't the only thing that's booming. Get the most reliable Wi-Fi and our best in-class equipment for one consistent price for 5 years guaranteed, all in. Plus, get unlimited data included and no annual contract, all with the 5-year price guarantee from Xfinity. Visit Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Restrictions apply, not available in all areas. New residential customers only. Select plans only. Xfinity Gateway with X5 Complete required for unlimited data, except in certain areas. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, August 2024. Actual speeds vary.
More fiber and laxatives, eh? Who are you? I'm future you. Future me? Constipation with belly pain still coming back? Our doctor figured it out. It's irritable bowel syndrome with constipation, or IBS-C. And Linzess could help you get ahead of it.
Linzess linaclotide is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. It's not a laxative. It's a once-daily pill that helps you get ahead of your symptoms. It's proven to help you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually. Do not give Linzess to children less than 2. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling. Talk to your doctor and say yes to Linzess. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS.
Get rid of stubborn fat and address areas of loose skin with ProSculpt, the simple one-day permanent fat reduction and skin tightening treatment. Book your free consultation at prosculpt.com.
Hey golf fans, Jordan Babineau here. Get ready for an unforgettable weekend at the 2025 Boeing Classic. Come see Masters champions and Hall of Fame golfers battle it out at the club at Snoqualmie Ridge, August 8th through the 10th. Bring the whole family and check out Seahawks Village, packed with fun for all ages. Plus, celebrate 20 years of the Boeing Classic, supporting the Benaroya Research Institute at Virginia Mason Franciscan Health. It's more than just golf. It's an experience you won't want to miss. August 8th through the 10th. Tickets start at just $20 and kids get in free. Visit BlowingClassic.com for more.
It's the World Fighting Championships at Emerald Queen Casino Event Center, Saturday night, October 25th. Experience the thrill and excitement of high-energy mixed martial arts. Tickets at emeraldqueen.com. Don't miss this amazing professional mixed martial arts event, the World Fighting Championships, October 25th at Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest. 21 and older, need gambling help? Call 800-547-6133 or visit emeraldqueen.com.
Want to cut your home energy bills, breathe cleaner air, and improve comfort? The answer, AeroSeal from Home Comfort Alliance. This advanced process seals leaks in your ductwork, improving efficiency and air quality. Normally $2,500. Right now, for PSC customers, get AeroSeal for as little as $99 when they install a furnace or heat pump. Plus, save up to 25% on remaining 2024 heat pumps and air conditioners from Home Comfort Alliance. Visit HomeComfortAlliance.com today.
The future is here, so why is your internet stuck in the past? With Quantum Fiber Internet, you can get next-level multi-gig speed on a reliable fiber network. Fair and honest pricing with no annual contracts or bundling required. And whole home 360 Wi-Fi to make sure your devices are ready to take you where you want to go. So you can stream, post, game, surf, like, and love to your heart's content. You do you. Let Quantum Fiber Internet take care of the rest. Learn more at quantumfiber.com. Limited availability, service, and speed in select locations only.
Need to know.
15 minutes past every hour with Brock and Salk.
Here's what you need to know. Up first.
Strange, fun, wonderful night of baseball last night. Really enjoyed it from start to finish. I liked the whole game. It was fun to see the Mariners out there and Randy doing his thing and Brian Wu doing his thing and Munoz out there, Cal doing. It was great. I just really enjoyed the All-Star game. And then all of a sudden you come down to the end. It's like it's going to be a tie. Great. They're going to go to a swing off. What's a swing off? Well, it's like a home run derby, except you only get 3 swings total, not just 3 outs. So 3 swings per person, and as many as you can put up in those 3 swings. Kyle Schwarber turned out to be the best at it because he hit all 3 outs.
Has rallied in the swing. With the hat trick. Look out, Chop House. National League takes the lead 4-3. Unbelievable.
Good call there with the hat trick. I like that from Joe Davis. It was really fun, man.
Right? Didn't he get down to his knee on that?
Yeah, it looked like
too?
almost like a lefty version of one of those Adrian Beltre home runs where he would be down on one knee.
Yeah.
It was fun. It was a really cool deal. And I think it was one of the things that was great was watching all of the other players come out onto the field to watch it, almost like they do during batting practice. But like did you see the shot of Cal with his phone out? I mean, like, I don't know, anything that turns players into fans, I think is cool.
Yeah, it was. I don't know how it goes better for MLB baseball. The Hank Aaron tribute was just utterly phenomenal. They did that a couple years ago when they moved the game out of Atlanta to Colorado and had a relative of Hank's there. But that was just so well done right there at the place that he helped fortify as kind of a baseball town. It was electric. The home run derby, Raleigh, obviously we're biased here, but what an unbelievable show he put on and a just a coming out party for the rest of the country, who I'm sure looked at the stats and followed the headlines and saw this guy was relevant, and then he just pays it off. And oh, by the way, ropes what could have been easily a double into the gap last night in the second at bat as well. So just all the way around, kudos to baseball. The game couldn't have benefited more over the last 48 hours of exposure.
I might maybe some of this is time of life for me, but watching it with Cecily at 11 years old and kind of getting into the game, seeing how much the guys in the home run derby, seeing them without their helmets on and their personalities and hanging out together, seeing how much that affected her the next day. Watching the actual All-Star game was kind of eye-opening to me because the next day she's like, oh, there's Junior Caminero with his eyebrows. Oh, there's O'Neal Cruz with his cool hair. Oh, there's Ellie De La Cruz. And she started liking a lot of those guys because of getting to see their personalities the night before. Yeah, good job by baseball.
Oh, there they are in their uniforms, too.
Right. Yeah, that's another nice part of what went down last night. That's for sure. Anyway, great job, Major League Baseball. Please don't get greedy. Don't start using that format anywhere else.
Here's the second thing you need to know.
Now it is time to really focus, Brock. The draft is in the rearview mirror, so GMs are done with that. The All-Star game's done. We actually got a trade today in baseball. Old friend Adam Frazier on the move from Pittsburgh to Kansas City, traded for a 28-year-old shortstop who doesn't play in the majors yet. So not a lot given up in order to acquire Adam Frazier right now. Did you see Vinny Pasquantino killing Adam Frazier and others during the Derby? Did you see any of that?
Yeah.
Dude, he was hilarious.
Yeah.
He wanted to have the Adam Frazier Derby, where it's just a good piece of hitting. You got to go the other way every time. Talking about going out to the mound with all the Spanish-speaking dudes, and after they finished talking, being like, vamos, because he didn't know what else they were saying. Dude, he was a riot. Anyway, first deal done. We'll see what else can get done. Obviously, the Mariners have a lot to do.
And I think you're right. You said this to Passan. You want to root against Arizona coming out of this break starting Friday to just kind of keep losing games and keep piling up games back in that wild card race. They're obviously in no contention whatsoever in the NL West, but you'd like to see them. I think that would be team number one to watch and root for losing because they have the most resources, both starting pitching, obviously first and third base, well documented. And yeah, that there just is some kind of gap that the have-nots, that the Orioles, that these teams don't get hot coming out of the break and close that wild card to a game or two. Hope the market is wide open when it comes to the final couple weeks.
Here's the third thing you need to know.
And finally, we've been talking a lot about these Adam Silver cuts from yesterday as he spoke on expansion, said they're going to be studying it now, in-depth analysis with actual specific cities and everything else. A part of that, when Tim Booth asked him very appropriately, hey, what would you say to fans who said, wait, now you're starting all of this? This is day one of the process? This was the response.
Well, I'd say to them, thank you for your interest. We have not committed to expanding in the past. I think, yes, we have internally been looking at, I think, some of the obvious data that we had in front of us, but I think the next step is looking at specific markets, understanding what the opportunities in those markets are, understanding the facilities that are available to us to play in, understanding the level of interest from local businesses, understanding the overall appetite, in those markets that are expressing interest to us. And by the way, I don't mean to be glib about this. I mean, you're obviously here as a representative of Seattle. I was at the league office when we were operating in Seattle. We have a WNBA team there. It's an incredible market. I wish standing here as the commissioner, I had lots of teams to dispense to many different markets who are interested in NBA basketball. I just think we also have this greater obligation to expand, if we do so in a very deliberate fashion, in a way that makes sense holistically for the league. So that's really the best I can do.
Yeah. And while that falls, I think, on deaf ears here and just an eye roll from a lot of folks in Seattle and former Supersonics on social media last night, as we've kind of heard this since last fall and the winter. And you've said appropriately from a presentation standpoint, this is the way you do it. And from a formality standpoint, now we begin. But you've been doing this for months. You know Vegas, you know Seattle, you know the facilities, you know the people involved. It's just, to me, yesterday was, I think, a pretty clear line that the rest of the owners are not willing to do that yet. That are not willing to figure out a way to slice this thing 32 ways and not willing to take that step to expand. And I get it. The other part, Salk, that he mentioned is the dilution of talent. You have 20 teams that are not interesting, 15 teams. This isn't the NHL where it feels like, man, there's 25 good teams and 5 that are out of it. You have to have a play-in tournament in season to motivate these guys that are making $80 million a year.
Look, you don't have to sell me on the problems with the NBA. That is everything you need to know. 1/4 past every hour here on the Brock and Salk Show. You don't have to sell me on the problems of the NBA, but I root for Sonics fans to get their team back, whether I like the product or not. It's ridiculous that there's not a team here in this city. I don't love the product. I think the NBA is a waste of time, but that doesn't mean that the great city of Seattle shouldn't have an NBA team, and it continues to be ludicrous that it doesn't. The talent already stinks. Who cares if you dilute it by 2 more? Like, the talent's already awful. So what's the difference between having 20 bad teams and 22? Who cares? Like, to me, that argument doesn't hold any weight. All right, here's what I want to do. We're going to answer questions coming up in a few minutes. So answer the question, jerk. Text them in, 866-979-3776. We only have a couple, so please, now is the time to do it. I'm going to be cutting and pasting and putting your questions in right now during this break. So 866-979-3776. Don't make me guilt you when I come back. I don't want to have to do that. It's Brock and Salk on Seattle Sports.
Bump and Stacy, weekdays 10 to 2.
Cal is on a historic pace. We haven't really seen anything like this, right? You have to look around the rest of that team and go, okay, who's going to carry some of this offensive load? Do you feel like it could be Randy?
It could be. It should be. You need guys like Randy to step up. Can we expect him to have 2 bombs a night? No, let's be real. And I think most of you are going to be real. 4 RBIs last night, the most since April 9th against Houston, so that's good.
Bump and Stacy, weekdays 10 to 2 on Seattle Sports, the app, YouTube, and your smart speaker.
All right, guys, August 8th is right around the corner. That's when it all opens up. The new hotel at Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel. I've been on the website at snocasino.com, and you can start booking right now to stay at the hotel. It's already up and ready. And I'm going to get a little tour, on Thursday next week, on the 31st? 2 weeks from now, I guess. But I'm going to go see it, and can't wait to come in and tell you guys what I saw, because it's going to be awesome. I just know it. The big non-smoking gaming floor that's expanded, the entertainment space, all of the restaurants, the whole deal. It is all for you coming up here at snocasino.com. Yes, Seattle's closest is now Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel.
Seattle Children's is leading the fight against pediatric cancer with groundbreaking research in immunotherapy. It reprograms a child's own T cells to hunt down and destroy cancer. It's hope, powered by science. But here's the truth. Pediatric cancer research is drastically underfunded. That's why Safeway is stepping up, and you can too. G. Scott here asking you to say yes to donating to Immunoheroes next time you're at Safeway checkout. Together, we can help fight cancer for all kidkind.
When businesses thrive, communities score. That's why Bank of America is the official bank of FIFA World Cup here in Seattle. And our more than 95 local business specialists are ready to help your business win. What would you like the power to do? Learn more at bankofamerica.com/local business. Bank of America, official bank of FIFA World Cup 2026. Bank of America Corporation, all rights reserved.
What is that sound? Ugh, that sounds like a plumbing sound. Luckily, there's a company that fixes all the plumbing sounds across Puget Sound. That's All Sound Plumbing. Puget Sound's plumbing experts. Have a sound? Visit allsoundplumbing.com.
You never get a second chance to make a first impression. Superior Linen Service. 98 years providing logoed apparel, uniforms, floor mats, linens, and more. Give us a call. We answer the phone. Superior Linen Service. Visit suplinen.com.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Brad's day is off to a slow start. So he heads to AutoZone, where batteries are as low as $89.99. Sammy, a local AutoZoner, tests his battery for free. Looks like he just needs a charge. And Sammy does that for free too. In no time at all, Brad is back on the road, ready to finish the day strong. Free battery testing and charging at every store. No hassles, just help.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Bonneville International radio station contests are open to participants 18 years of age or older that are residents of Washington State unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contests are not eligible to win unless the station otherwise specifies at its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 60 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. Full general contest rules are available on seattlesports.com or in person at the station during regular business hours.
The home of the Mariners.
One hopper snared at short. Not a quick hop by J.P. Crawford. That guy's a magician over there at shortstop.
Seattle Sports.
Download the Seattle Sports app.
Summer is here and Washington Energy's BOGO 40% off sale is on now. Update and enhance your home with beautiful new windows and doors expertly installed by Washington Energy Services. Save today with one of our best deals of the year. Buy one energy efficient window, get the second at 40% off. And BOGO 40% off all entry, patio, and interior doors right now. From traditional to modern home updates and with over 65 years of award-winning installations, Washington Energy is the clear choice. Call today for a free estimate.
Endless hours of research, seeking referrals, dozens of calls. Hiring the right attorney can be a challenging process during an already difficult time. J.P. Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains.
In Washington State, Tom, there are thousands of attorneys to choose from. Referrals and online research can be helpful, but discovering the right attorney requires a conversation. It can be hard to identify integrity and authenticity without that interaction.
So, what do you recommend?
We encourage anyone looking for personal injury representation to call for a free consultation with our team before making a decision simply based on referrals or online research. Accident victims need an attorney that listens, demonstrates honesty, and is genuinely understanding of their unique circumstances. The care, attention, and preparation that our firm provides throughout the case mirrors the effort involved when taking on the insurance companies.
Save time and avoid mistakes after an injury. Contact the caring and compassionate team at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
If it's game day or any day, Toyota of Kirkland and Toyota of Renton are your MVPs for trucks and SUVs. Experience the power of choice with the Tundra at 1.99% APR for 72 months, the Tacoma leasing at $299 a month, the all-electric BZ4X with 0% APR, and the RAV4 leasing at just $319 a month. Find that all-star lineup at toyotaofkirkland.com and toyotaofrenton.com. Offers valid through August 4th, 2025. Excludes taxes, license, and negotiable $200 dealer documentation fee. See dealership for details.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Brock and Salk.
Weekdays 6 to 10.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Oh my God, what a group of questions, Brock. People have delivered with a tremendous surge of Answer the Question Jerk questions. So we'll get to those here in 10, 12 minutes. You guys have the Answer the Question Jerk music all ready to go in there. Oh, yeah, that's a big thumbs up from Charles. Awesome. So we're ready to go. We'll do that here in about 10, 12 minutes. Brock, it's funny when you left on Friday, your last show, feels like a lot's changed since then, right? I mean, everyone's down in the dumps and the Mariners got beat and, the come from a crazy comeback from the Yankees after what looked like a no-hitter was on the way from Woo. I appreciate Shannon coming in yesterday and saying that she really liked my perspective on, it's just Yankee Stadium. That's what happens there all the time, and games aren't over there until they are. I got to appreciate that the Mariners went out and just beat the living daylights out of the best team in baseball this year, the Detroit Tigers. And with that, it was Randy and it was Cal and it was Cole Young. I mean, it was an everybody thing. Everybody, at least on the offensive side, had something to do with that series win. But at the heart of it all was Julio. I mean, he went 6 for 12 with 3 home runs, couple of doubles. 8 runs driven in. I want to say 6 or 8 scored, couple of stolen bases, a throw to third. I mean, you name it, Julio did it over the course of that series. And it was such a reminder of oh man, for all the conversations of, I don't know if they'll ever get there, this and that. When Julio turns it on, he's absurd. He is as talented as anyone in this game.
Yeah, I mean, he has shown in stretches of his career, and it's been in the second half, it's been when the weather's warm, that he can do what Cal Raleigh did in the first half here. He can put a team totally on his shoulders and be the best player in the entire sport. He was that in August. He was that for 3 weeks in a July after the All-Star game. Just doing things that, from a ceiling. We talk about floor and ceiling all the time. that his ceiling is as high as any single individual in the game.
But some of it is a little more complete than Cal, right? You're right in terms of the carrying a team, but like just the ability to run and power and act like on base, like what?
Cal's platinum glove winner back there. I mean, he steals bases, 9 of them in the first half. Like,
I mean, he does, but it's not the same thing. I mean, just the way Julio can do everything on a baseball field to me is what makes him such a prize, right? And why there's so much conversation about getting to the ultimate version of himself. And we got a guy.
Oh, go ahead.
No, you got.
Did you go further with Shannon in trying to understand why he made the decision? Because when we were on the air Friday, I think it was live on the air, that, it came out and we were reading at the end of the show, the first little statement that he wants to recuperate and rest and take the All-Star break and everything else.
Mm-hmm.
Did you go in any more detail with Shannon about that? So.
I'm trying to remember whether that was on the air or off the air, so I don't want to give away. I mean, no, I don't think we did too deeply, but
Okay.
I'm going to continue to think that Julio's probably a little beat up. He's probably been dealing with things throughout the year. That's not to say he's hurt or he's injured or anything like that, but he's had a little hand and he's had a little back and he's had a little this, and it's very possible that those things linger. Generally, when athletes don't perform at a level that we're accustomed to seeing them perform, many times it's because of injury, right? Now in baseball, God knows, it's all over the place, but that's not like an unusual thing to find out later, like, oh, they were playing through X for all of that time. So, in those regards, it wouldn't surprise me if a few extra days off would be a good thing for Julio to just rest his body and just go take a couple of mental days off too.
Yeah, once we begin to put these stamps like this is why this happened, you get proven very wrong, especially in the game of baseball. As Jeff Passan talked about earlier today with Cal Raleigh, in the fact that getting that contract done was a really big deal. Is it the only reason that it's unlocked him? Is it the biggest singular reason as to why he had a first half unlike any catcher in the history of the game? Who knows? But it certainly played a role. I do wonder if Julio coming out and just saying, all right, Randy, you go. You actually deserve this more than me. I've not played to the capabilities and the level that I'm able to. And oh, by the way, I need the rest. I need to just kind of reset here. And I just wonder if making that decision also in some small way unlocked him over the weekend in Detroit, because that's the guy that this franchise needs. And he knows that. He's smart enough to realize that.
Do you know? Well. I mean, one thing I don't think any of us know is I wondered. I have no idea what the answer to this would be. We get to see Julio on all the time, right? Big smile, big everything, energy running around. I wonder how tiring that is for him. It might not be at all. That might be just how he's wired 100%. But it might be tiring, and it might get more tiring. Not that it's inauthentic. I don't mean that. I think it's very authentically him. But a lot of people are like that, and then they need time to recuperate from it because it's tiring to be on for that long. I don't know. Maybe just a 3, 4 days, 5 days off here is just a good thing for Julio to rest all of him, his mind, his body, his personality, all of it. Maybe just needs to go sleep for a few days.
Yeah, I would challenge it just a little bit from what we do know, because we've seen him from 17 years old.
Yeah, I know.
Right? I mean, he is.
Well, I'm not saying it's inauthentic. I don't mean that at all. Just that even people, you'll hear about introverts, right, who are at times the life of the party. But at the end of the party, they need to go home and recharge by themselves.
Sure.
And I don't know whether that's him or not. Again, I'm 100% just throwing another possibility out there.
If I had to answer it, I think it's the weight of underperformance. At the first 90 games of this year and carrying the weight of underperformance when this whole season from day one and when we sat with him at the table in February is 162 battles, that every game matters, that we got to start fast, that I've got to be, Julio. In a hard game, it's very, very difficult. I think the weight of underperformance, and oh, by the way, that weight's probably been heavier the first 90 games when he watched a guy in Cal Raleigh do what he was supposed to do.
I wonder what he was. I would assume he got away from everything, didn't watch a lot, but I wonder what Julio's thinking as, all those guys are gathered around at the Home Run Derby, all of his Dominican teammates from the World Baseball Classic, and, they're rallying together, right? De La Cruz and O'Neill Cruz and Junior Caminero and Fernando Tatis, like all of them. They're all there together. I wonder if Julio would have do I go over there? Do I hang with Cal? What's the right deal here? Cal had his teammates certainly with Brian Wu and Randy Arozarena. It was. Yeah, I think it was probably good for him. I'm glad he took some time off.
I think it was great for him.
Yeah.
I don't think I could echo that. If we were on Saturday, I would have said, what a big time decision. What a grown up decision.
Yeah.
In so many different ways, knowing that it would provide the opportunity for Randy, who has been red hot.
How cool was that too?
So cool.
Yeah. And Julio talked about that, and they went out to breakfast, and then Randy's there yesterday. By the way, how about Randy being interviewed very briefly in English by Tom Verducci?
Randy, they say you love the big moments. Are you ready for this?
I ready. 100%. This is my moment.
Go get him.
I love it.
This is my moment.
This is my moment.
This is my time.
I'm ready. Yes. Dude, I don't know. I love Randy. Cecily was trying to ask me questions about Randy. She's like, why is he doing that? I was like, I don't know. Why did he roll his eyes after he hit his home run? I don't know.
That's Randy.
I don't know why Randy does anything that he does. There's a Manny Ramirez element to Randy where you just I don't know why he did that. He's unique. But I really enjoy him. And you can see, Brock, when you start getting Randy Arozarena getting on base, 9 home runs in 13 days, when you get Julio hitting like Julio is capable of.
You can beat anybody, man. You can beat anybody.
Not just beat anybody. You score 35 runs in 3 games against 2 All-Star starters.
Yep.
That's crazy.
Yep. And this American League is wide open. As wide open as we can ever remember it. The fact that you could go into Detroit and sweep the best team in the American League, who'd been the most dominant, who'd pitched, who'd hit, who'd done everything, and you go into their building after being swept, after starting a final 6-game difficult road trip, and after getting sweat and gut punched the hardest you have all season in a loss, and to go into that place and dominate them for 3 days was a reminder that, when this thing is right here, when this thing is right, this team, and oh, by the way, we also have the dry powder in our farm system.
I mean,
to be able to do things over the next 2 weeks.
And now even more of it, right? If you need to trade some pitching, you've just added the most MLB-ready prospect in this year's draft in lefty Kate Anderson. If you want to trade Harry Ford and you still need, catching depth, you just drafted 3 catchers, including the number 35 pick, who's only a year younger than Harry Ford is, and is kind of built a little bit like Cal Raleigh. Like he's got a little dumper of his own.
Is he a mini dumper?
He's a little bit of a small dumper. Yeah, I mean, he's got a little of the same build.
Let me put my glasses on.
Oh, you should take a look at him. Kid from UNC.
What's his name?
Logan Stevenson, right? I believe is his name.
Let me take a look at the power
Yeah,
source.
no, there's
Luke Stevenson.
Luke Stevenson. Thank you. I'm sorry about that.
Let me take a look at Luke Stevenson's power source.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a power source there.
Okay.
So, if you want to trade Harry Ford, you're pretty well set up to do that. If you want to trade almost any of your prospects, you have what is it when you have multiples of something, Brock? Not contingencies, but you've got
duplicity.
Not duplicity. I think that's when you're when you're being duplicitous. That's when you're.
Never mind. Just scratch that. I'm looking at Luke. Right.
In any event, you've got multiples. So if you need to trade one, you've got backup plans essentially ready to go. Puts the. I'm sorry, I really distracted Brock here. I brought up somebody's power source, and now I've lost him. He's gone down a rabbit hole trying to see somebody's body.
I'm just waiting for the buff dude report to come back out now.
Oh, it very well may with Luke Stevenson.
Look at those thighs.
You like that?
Look at those quads. He's ready to go now.
You like that, huh?
I do like that. Yeah, he's a little dumper, big dumper, little dumper.
Redundancies. Thank you. That's the word I was looking for. Thank you, 410. Redundancies. Exactly.
Yes.
You've got some redundancies. You do.
Yep.
You want to trade Harry Ford? You can do that, and still have depth at the catcher position in case something god awful were to happen to Cal and you needed someone for a few months. Like you've really put it together so that you are as ready to go at this deadline as anyone. You just need to find the right partners, and that means teams like the Diamondbacks and the Twins have to lose a couple more games and ultimately become trade partners. All right, let's answer some questions.
This is Brock and Salk's Answer the Question, Jerk.
Keep asking questions. Come on, I'll answer them. Come on, I'm here. I'm going to answer your questions, dang it.
Answer my question! The question, jerk!
Well, don't just stand there.
Answer the question, jerk.
All right, a lot of good questions. Let me jump right into them, Brock. Why, and there were a bunch. This one stands for like 4 or 5 others that texted something like this in. Why didn't home run derby winner Cal Raleigh participate in the tiebreaker last night?
Because the big dumper had been put on ice for 5 innings?
Yeah. Because if he had, I would have been mad.
Yep.
I would have been really mad at Aaron Boone. And Aaron Boone said very specifically, hey, I chose guys that were hot, that had not been sitting for like 2 hours.
That's right.
That would have been not a good thing for them.
That's right.
Their day was over. They were hanging out. You keep the guys who were still warmed up. And so, yeah, if you lose, whatever. But I don't think he wanted Aranda in there at that moment. That wasn't the perfect scenario. But you got to go with the guys that are hot. So thank you, Aaron Boone, actually. That was a good thing for the Mariners.
You want a little good news?
Yeah.
Just looking at the Diamondbacks in particular, they're 12 games before the All-Star break. You know who they play?
Who?
Cardinals.
Good.
Astros.
Okay.
Pirates.
That mean you got to root for the Astros?
Tigers. So they play.
Do you have to root for the Astros during that series? Maybe that one could just be a little split or something.
Yeah, that's a little mixture.
How about the Twins? See who they play as well. That would be the other one that would interest me because I'd really like the Twins to sell, and they're only 4 games out right now. So, all right, let's see. Jerks. Why were the Mariners the only team represented in the American League without a road gray jersey top? Can we get those back? What are we doing? No. Hate the grays. I love that the Mariners were wearing their blues. I thought they looked sharper than anybody. No, thank you. Forget the grays. Now we start talking about repealing the teal. Now we got a conversation.
You know what would be kind of cool, and I don't know what park and where the All-Star games are for the next 4 or 5 years, to do a total retro throwback. That the Cardinals wear their baby blues. The Astros wear their multicolored.
Yes.
The Mariners wear their Mark Langston blues. Like
Yes.
you get everybody in
Like
the
pick
White
a
Sox
year.
wear. Yes. Yeah, like the 1978 uniform. That would
Yeah,
be
and everyone
cool.
else would have to just like go back as old school as they could or something like
Yes.
that. Yeah, I think that'd be fun. Yeah, count me in.
Cool.
I'd be into that.
The Twins open at the Rockies for 3. That's not great.
Not great.
Then they're in L.A. with the Dodgers for 3.
Better.
And then home to the Nationals for 3. And then the Red Sox for the final 3.
All right. Well, we'll see where all that goes. That's those are the 2 teams that I'm watching most diligently. Answer the question, Jerks. Who are some of the sound voices behind the sound bites on this show? Well, we don't have as many as we used to. We used to have a lot more drops and stuff like that. We don't do as much of that as we used to. So you're probably mostly just talking about like the opens.
Right.
That's Matt. That's Matt Hasselbeck. You got Jay Buhner.
I'll answer the question.
That's
great, Jim Mora.
You've got Jay
Richard
Buhner
Sherman.
punching me in the kidney and my reaction to it. Chris Berman saying that you were no Joe Cap there in the pocket.
No Joe Cap.
The one I think nobody remembers is our guy Dmitry Donskoy. Just in trouble pronouncing your name. He was a Russian Seahawks fan who worked in the media in Russia, who really wanted to do American radio. And so we taped stuff with him every week. We got a Seahawks preview with him every week.
Not necessarily we. That was
Howdy.
more of a Howdy project.
Howdy might have
even
been like
Howdy got
telling
to the
that guy
point-
that he was going to get him a green card or something. I don't know, but
Even at that point, Howdy at the end was like, probably should pull the plug on this one. It's probably time to let this one.
anyway, that's Dimitri who struggled with Brock's name. And anyway, there's a few of them. I don't know. You got to keep listening. We'll go over them at some point. You'll hear it. Ask your friends.
And go Seahawks.
Jerks, what was the name of the song playing during your first ever slow dance with someone? I don't know that I know the answer to this question, but I'd be willing to bet it was Stairway to Heaven because that ended every dance I ever went to.
Really?
And
That would be my sophomore year.
Wait,
Lady
what?
in Red.
You didn't dance with a girl until your sophomore
in high
year?
school. Of course not. They're the priority, Salk.
Well, at the
I
dance,
was on my
you
pursuit to greatness.
were you out throwing a football like Titus was during the wedding a couple weeks ago? Like during the
quite
dance,
possibly.
you're out throwing a football around?
Quite possibly. No, I just remember Lady in Red.
That's a good one.
Then the then girlfriend was wearing a red dress. And,
Oh, that must have felt very meaningful to you.
Very, very powerful.
That's fun. As a sophomore in high school.
Lady in Red. When was your first time you slow danced?
Fourth
Tell me
grade?
5th grade.
Fourth
What?
grade. Yeah, Camp
Fourth
Social.
grade?
Camp Social, yeah. The girls from Matoka.
boy.
Yeah.
So many questions I do not want to ask. Okay, next.
Really?
Push. Uh-huh.
I mean, it's not like, not much more happened than that, but we did dance
good. It was
a little
innocent
bit.
in 4th and 5th grade.
It might have been a little peck or something, but there was not, there was nothing to write home about. And then
Charles?
a bunch of guys going back to their cabin later at camp.
Charles, are you a good slow dancer, Charles?
I can be, yes.
Oh, you can be.
Yes, I'm hoping to find my dream girl, so I can do that with her.
There you go.
And I remembered the first time I ever danced with a girl. It was back in middle school.
Okay. Memorable though, right?
Kind of makes you sweat a little bit. Huh?
Yeah, it is memorable.
Yeah, and then you don't want to sweat because you're dancing. It's just such a mess. Being young stinks in a lot of ways, but being old stinks too. You sweat for different reasons. All right, jerks, if you had the power, would you switch baseball back to the old days where the NL didn't have the DH and no interleague games?
No.
Yes. Definitively yes. I was just talking about that the other day. Yes.
Really?
Be great. I'd love it. I don't need interleague play. 2 leagues, totally separate, all good. I got no problems with that.
I don't need this much interleague play. I'd like it to be a little more decided per division.
Like when they first started?
Yeah.
That was cool. Yeah, I guess I could.
That was healthier.
But it was bad. That problem with that is like, then you go to make the playoffs and like you might have played the Marlins and Rockies and somebody else might have played the Mets and Dodgers, and that wasn't right either.
Yeah.
Jerks, what is your number one complaint while driving? I think I've mentioned this. It's becoming people and their fear of green lights. I don't understand what's going on in the city. People approach a green light and they hit the brakes. The light's green. Drive through the freaking light. Yeah, Fogel.
Okay.
You've heard of FOMO? This is Fogel, fear of green lights. Oh, the light's green. What do I do?
Shouldn't you be happy that the light's green so you get to go?
They don't.
My turn yellow.
They're afraid of it. I don't know what's going to be on the other side of this green light. Drive through the lights, people. They're green.
Hey, speaking of which, guys, I got a little question for you all about traffic lights.
All right.
Why do drivers get angry at the traffic light a lot?
Because they keep seeing red.
Ah, you got it,
Yes!
Salk. They keep seeing red.
That's a good one.
Good luck, Charles.
I like that.
You can't get that by Salk.
That's pretty good. Charles is filling in for Lyle today. He's a great dude.
Salk's side job is writing dad jokes.
That's
but he
true.
doesn't
I do
want-
like a good
want that
dad joke.
public. Yeah.
That's true. Which sport has the best sounds? You're an audio guy, Brock, since you can't smell or.
I mean, each is unique and distinct. The blades on the ice is really cool.
Really cool.
The squeak of the court in the basketball and the swish of a net is
good.
pretty cool. The pop of a mitt, we've talked about this. The
Crack of the
spikes,
bat.
all of the crack of the bat. But it's got to be football.
God, it's funny. I thought that was like not on my top 3.
Oh, the grunts, the pain, the collisions, the noise, the doinks, I mean, it's got some.
See, I think I would probably go hockey number 1, baseball number 2, but they'd be neck and neck, 1A, 1B.
Oh.
And I actually think tennis would be way up there as well. Tennis sounds great. I like the sound of tennis. A little repetitive, but I like
Monica
the sound of tennis.
Sellis's grunts.
Yeah, I don't mind that.
Ugh.
Golf, I like too. I like the sound of golf. I like that sound when you make perfect contact in golf. That's pretty good. Do we have time for one more? All right, let me give you one more. Farmer here from Central Washington. Don't get a lot of vacation with my young family, but best 24 to 48 hour quick getaway in the Pacific Northwest. From there, you can shoot straight south, go to Bend from Central Washington. I wouldn't otherwise do that for 24 to 48 hours because 6 hours from Seattle. But if you're like in Yakima already and you can just go straight south, well, that's a pretty good trip.
Yeah, I mean, Chelan and Brewster and Pateros and all those areas are pretty neat as well. If you like the remote, obviously getting up into the North Cascades to camp. So I don't know your hobbies, what you like to do.
There's a lot of
got
good
to find a
spots.
way to get out to Gamble Sands and their new course, Salk. I've heard it's unbelievable.
Check out Snoqualmie Casino starting August 8th. They're going to have a hotel there as well.
What?
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. All right, we got to run. We're done for today. Tomorrow, Joe Buck, maybe Joel Klatt Brock and I will be back together. Lyle should be back from the All-Star game, so we'll hear more from him. Charles, thank you. Brady, thank you for the last couple of days. Great work as always.
You got it, fellas.
We'll see you guys tomorrow morning. And the Hay
Barnes.
See everybody.
Get to the chopper!
Jordan Schusterman every Wednesday morning at 11 with Bump and Stacy on Seattle Sports.
How do you foresee this rotation shaping out before the All-Star break?
I certainly don't think that's the last we will see of Emerson Hancock this season. I will be interested to see if Logan Evans can make a push to replace him at some point, how they kind of go back and forth between both of those guys. I think from a workload standpoint, I have to imagine they want to be a little bit more careful with Evans.
Get more on the Seattle Sports YouTube page and the Seattle Sports app.
For over 113 years, Pacific Lamp and Supply Company has been your #1 lighting specialist in Washington, from the Space Needle in Seattle all the way to the Riverwalk in Spokane. With the largest lighting inventory in Washington, Pacific Lamp's knowledgeable and experienced staff can assist with any lighting issue, including intricate lighting and control designs. Plus, they work with all utilities in Washington to get you the best available lighting rebates. Pacific Lamp and Supply Company, Washington's lighting experts since 1912. Visit pacificlamp.com.
Bump letting you know the Employee Pricing Plus event is on at West Hills Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram. The 2025 Ram 2500 is a beast with class-leading torque and towing. But don't sleep on the new grille, LED lights, and tech upgrades. On sale now for $9,000 off MSRP. Subject to credit approval. Offer ends July 31st. West Hills Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram, part of the Hazelwood Auto Group.
Hazelwood has it!
Get lower energy bills, cleaner air, and year-round comfort with AeroSeal duct sealing. Normally $2,500. Now just $99 for PSE customers with each replacement furnace or heat pump from Home Comfort Alliance. Learn more at homecomfortalliance.com today.
Immaculate greens, unrivaled natural beauty, championship caliber conditions. Loomis Trail is the epitome of Northwest golf. With water in play on nearly every hole and tree-lined fairways, Loomis Trail provides a fantastic golf experience for those that want a challenge and those looking for a fun getaway. What round are you up for? Tee times available online at golfloomis.com. Start planning your perfect golf getaway today.
Riverside Roofing has earned GAF Master Elite President's Club certification, which puts them in the 99.9th percentile of all roofers nationally. They're right here out of Marysville. You can find them at riversideroofingllc.com, and they are the roofing company you can trust.
Keeping your engines healthy means protecting them in season and out. Experts trust Stable to do that, and third-party testing confirms it. Stable is the industry leader in preventing fuel-related issues, no matter if you use it in your car, boat, or outdoor power equipment. In season or out, at every fill-up or when you store, start with Stable.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With the Capital One Venture X card, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy. Plus, you get premium benefits at a collection of luxury hotels when you book on Capital One Travel. And with Venture X, you get access to over 1,000 airport lounges worldwide. Open up a world of travel possibilities with the Capital One Venture X card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Give me those sauces, grab the chicken strips, let's dunk them in there. There's nothing like it. Hey, I'm Joey. And I'm Josh. And we're team members at our local Chick-fil-A. And a little thing you'll love about the Chick-fil-A chicken strips is dipping them in our sauces. My sauce is the barbecue sauce. If you wanted to add sweet, tangy flavors, there's nothing like it. I love the garden herb ranch sauce, but if you want a little bit more kick in the spicy side, you can mix it with buffalo sauce. Dipping them in our sauces, it is perfection.
It's the summer of Chick-fil-A chicken strips and sauces. Order now on the Chick-fil-A app. Team members paid for their testimonials.
What was that? That is business phone bliss with the Ooma Cloud Phone System. It handles all our voice, video, and messaging needs.
You sound very...
Calm? I am. Ooma has everything I need to run my business more efficiently, like virtual receptionist, call routing, and video conferencing. And it starts at just $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Nice. Find your business calm at ooma.com/radio.
Hey, Green Gobbler here. So you've got a clogged drain in your bathroom. Water in the sink's overstaying its welcome.
You're spitting today's toothpaste on top of yesterday's toothpaste. You hope that it go away. Yeah, clogs don't just go away. I make them go away. I'm Green Gobbler, the only clog dissolver you need. I'm bleach-free, safe for your pipes, and I work. Guaranteed or your money back. Because I never met a clog that was gonna unclog itself. Green Gobbler. Let the gobbler get it.
Why'd I go to the doctor? My heart would race just taking my son to practice. It didn't feel right. So I got checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports.